This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. Take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Good evening, UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. It's your Wolf Commander Wolf Tant. I'm your werewolf. Here again with another evening stream. And today we are talking about the Matrix Quadrilogy, actually, minus one. That's right, minus one. I have with me here, starting with the two, and eventually will be joined by one. One more. The one, Fish Chozo.
Hi, everybody. It's Fish Shozo, and now I'm trying to remember the Matrix.
It'll come back to you when you follow along.
Mhm.
And then we have our operator, Schooner Tuna, the schooner of the tuna, actually.
Coming at you live from a little phone call from an alternate reality that is actually the real reality. I am now broadcasting to your simulated reality in the hope that you will take the red pill with us. I am Schooner Tuna.
So, initial thoughts on the Matrix. I remember watching this when I was a kid for the first time, or at least seeing the commercial for it, and nothing would have prepared. I don't think nothing would ever prepare anybody for that first experience when they first saw it, the trailers itself, and the TV spots and the commercials that showcase the Matrix. Nobody was really that prepared for what it had to show. It was a very revolutionary action movie that really had a story to tell and had some very philosophical themes to talk about, which was interesting, considering how it pretty much gave rise to a number of aesthetics that a lot of movies would adopt or mock and parody in the years to come during the late '90s to the early aughts.
So it says
Now,
graded color palette.
exactly. Now, mind you, it was the it was the one movie that popularized bullet time. It did not create bullet time.
Nope.
That that still goes to the Shadow and Blade that did bullet time. And Blade really was what started bullet time. If y'all remember the one scene that actually did that, it was the first shot in the commercial when they showcased Blade as well.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is, Matrix did have this technique of how to do bullet time specifically though, and it was one to do an insane amount of interesting camera shots. It especially when the Wachowskis their camera crew invented this rotational camera system that actually you know take the shot for take a picture of the shot, and it rotates, of course, and you get to play around with it. Of course, it stars up and coming uh main star
Hang on. You know who they originally wanted for these roles?
Will Smith.
yes,
Will Smith. Yep, they offered the role to Will Smith for Neo, and the role of Morpheus was originally to go to Sean Connery.
oh yeah, that'd been a different movie for sure.
It would have been a different movie for sure. Will Smith at the time, however, here's the interesting thing. He turned it down because you have to know this too. As much as this movie earned all of its stripes, in the time of its production, a lot of people did not have faith in it. This was a risk. This movie was a risk because
among many risks.
yeah, this was in my opinion, this movie, The Matrix, was the Star Wars of the '90s. Okay, it really it really revolutionized action films, and it would also allow for such creative minds like Christopher Nolan to get into the limelight.
Oh,
and yeah, I mean, there are a lot of themes here, but this revitalized cyberpunk, transhumanism, a whole bunch of stuff. And yes, what was it? Will Smith, getting back on point, Will Smith turned it down because he wasn't sure about it, especially with where his place was at his career at this time. It was a delicate moment, so he stuck with projects that were safe. Sean Connery, on the other hand, he could not understand this movie. He was like, "What is this about? I don't know what it's about." And that's why
he retired after League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which another movie that had bullet time, somewhat.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny because at the time of the 90s, he was offered the role of the Matrix. He couldn't understand it, and he was offered the role of Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, and he said he wasn't interested.
What?
But he wasn't. I know. Yeah, I know. Shocking as it is, Sean Connery
we can talk about that another time.
Yeah. But getting back to
so instead of Will Smith, they went for Keanu Reeves, who was again up and coming, and again nobody wasn't really too sure about Keanu Reeves at the time because I think he came off of
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted and Speed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And his acting was still something to be desired or something to be more expected. So of course it's like, this is Keanu Reeves we're talking about. Like, are we really sure that we can that he can pull it off? The rest is history. We'll get more into it. We'll get more into it, but
and they agreed to Keanu Reeves because he was cheap. He was let's call it what it was. They were saying, well, Keanu Reeves was more of a safe choice. He could play that modern day guy, but behind the scenes, studio execs were, look, we were already blowing so much money onto these visual effects. He could work cheap. We're gonna get him. Well, because here's the thing: Keanu Reeves is not unreasonable.
No, he's not. As we all have seen him over the years, I mean, the many movies that he's been in, it's like, it's like, man, he just. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna pull from Nicolas Cage. He just likes being in movies, apparently.
Yeah, and Keanu Reeves wanted this movie too because he was a spiritualist. He is a spiritualist.
Wait. Is Keanu Reeves a Satanist in real life?
No.
He's a spiritualist. I said spiritual.
I know, but I heard somebody say Keanu Reeves is a Satanist.
No.
Where'd you get that from?
Greg Levitra, but I don't really take off his opinion seriously though.
Please God, don't let that be true. Please God.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either.
The man took a bum to dinner. Okay. Will Satanists do that?
No.
Because I don't take everything Greg Levitra says seriously. Again, I think he's.
I know. I'm just saying, like, how could he be a Satanist if he took a bum to dinner?
If you don't know who Greg that guy is, he's the guy making Gun Demon. There you go, Gun Demon.
That's a subject of topic right now.
Yeah, but Keanu Reeves is actually very much a fan of this genre: artificial intelligence, cyberpunk, transhumanism, and because of the many philosophies it parallels. Now, as much as everybody wants to say that The Matrix, the first one, had a lot of these really Eastern philosophies thrown in here, there is more of a Christian element in this film.
Or Jewish.
Yeah, Judeo-Christian elements in this film.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, like, I mean, like I said, the promo was out. Like, nobody was really that well prepared for what this movie had in store for us. And when it came down time to me watching it with my family, it's like once we were done, I was especially the big reveal, which we're gonna get into later on in the stream. I'm really like looking around, checking my body and stuff like what the fuck? It had me there, dude. It really had me there. Yeah.
The movie made you question your own reality. It did its job.
So, what about you guys?
All right. I'm right there with you, Wolf. when this movie came out, I didn't know what to make of it. The bullet times, I'm like, well, okay, so these guys are just moving fast. And then I saw it in theater. Well, no, I didn't see it in theaters. No, I had a friend who got the movie and he showed it to me, and I was like, whoa, this movie's completely different. This is like everything I want, and I didn't even know I wanted it.
I first saw the Matrix on VHS.
Yeah.
Neat. Same here. This is when VHS was still a thing.
Oh yeah. And it was an amazing flick. It's the one that really got me into those deep sci-fi stories.
So, quick fun fact: when I first saw the commercial, I originally thought Morpheus was the bad guy
Yeah.
because this was coming off the heels of movies that we kind of had where where in some of the movies the bad guy was trying to recruit the hero to their side.
Yeah.
Like we had In Too Deep, which had LL Cool J as God, a crime lord named God.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I think I don't remember it clear, but I think I saw that.
Yeah, I remember bits and pieces, but one stood out to me was when he when he literally had this woman on her knees asking her, "Who's God? You're God. Who's God? You're God." Just crying her ass off, just screaming, "You're God." I'm like, wow, this is. I'm gonna have to revisit that movie one of these days.
Yes, please, can we? This looks like a movie I will thoroughly enjoy. Like,
That'll probably be another movie we'll talk about in the future. WCR, just In Too Deep. But let's get going. So first movie. I don't think we're gonna be just talking at length about much like what the Critical Drinker did with his little happy hour streams.
No.
So we'll just give our initial thoughts on characters, action scenes, what stuck out to us, what the things were to us, what have you, and we're just gonna wing it since we're big on time, anyways. So I remember that first opener with Trinity. That's the one that everybody can really talk about the most. I mean, I know there's the shootout scene in the second act of the movie, but the one where it just really introduces you in a way the mechanics of the Matrix and how the free rebels operate with it, or how the agents, without really not really showing enough to really convey how different this movie is going to be, how this movie is going to operate. Just the fact that you got Trinity that's running just that does this she's not really floating. It's just the reality is just slowing down for us to see what she's doing before she kicks the officer, or like the way how she's so fast that she can actually outrun bullets before they hit her by running the wall, or she's like very good at martial arts. She's able to take out the police officers by herself. And then you get the agents coming in. Of course, you got the exchange between her and Morpheus before you even get to see. I mean, you already know who Morpheus is. You see him in the trailer. You see him in the commercials and all that stuff. But the thing is that even though you see these characters, the world is actually lulling you in as you're watching it. So
it's luring you into already right off the bat. It's luring you in with a false reality.
That you think you know what this movie is going to be about. Not really. Sonny Jim. To quote what's his name? The gamer Brit.
Yeah.
No,
but to build off what you're saying. But to build off what you're saying, you're already it starts off, the Matrix data coming down, but then it cuts to a phone call, and you see all these numbers, and then you see Trace running. So you're thinking, oh, okay, these guys are using some kind of a police scanner or some high-tech equipment to track the call. And most people, you're listening to the conversation, but you're listening to the conversation that they're saying, but then they're like going, uh-oh, who is this person? What's going on? I'm sorry, what's all that clicking?
Fizz, what you wrestling with?
Yeah, resting the microphone. Uh,
Oh.
Having mic problems, the first thing pull you in is the Looney Tunes physics and saw the movie essentially,
Hmm.
and, and then we got the three clones of the same man shows up this the crown like that. That pulls you in immediately.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I find almost immediately is that it's clear that this girl is subhuman. Okay, it's like, whoa, this girl has strengths and abilities beyond any of us. But then when she's talking to Morpheus and they say, "Are there any agents?" and Morpheus goes, "Yes," Trinity becomes freaked out, and you're like, "Whoa, who are these guys? Why are they such a big deal?" And then suddenly you see the way that they're chasing after like the regular cops. Yeah, this agent is clearly outpacing the human cops, but he's a government agent. You just think, oh, he's a government agent. They train him to do that. But when he matches that jump, that Trinity does, you suddenly realize, oh crap, this is not a human being.
Yep. You already know because he got clones of him. Like they literally just copies. So what? So what the hell?
Would you
And-
call them clones?
Yeah.
And
No,
here's the thing. Here's the
No,
thing.
no, no,
Here's the thing.
The agents do vary in shape and size, but yes, they are made to almost look identical. The clones that you're talking about, copies of himself, that's the second movie.
Yeah, it's way later.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing though. It's almost like at first you might think it's the government's cloning people. At first, that's what you think it is at first.
Yeah.
But no, we get into later in the movie. No, they're actually in a simulation.
Mm-hmm. That's as Morpheus puts it there. Yeah. So they're running. Trinity has to make an escape. She's able to make the jump, and then she wills herself to get up. And then suddenly, what's crazy is that she's looking at a payphone. That's what she's running to, a payphone. And then there's a truck. Suddenly, the truck violently turns around, and it doesn't aim at her. It aims at the payphone, and you're suddenly thinking, okay, so clearly this payphone is something that is a very important. What is it exactly? The car revs itself up, the phone rings, and both make a mad dash for it. Trinity gets there first, answers it, looks at the truck, puts her hand out to try to stop what's coming. Boom! There's a big hit. Truck reverses. There's nobody in the booth. And the agents just suddenly take up a formation, and they say, "She got out." And you're like, "What? Huh?"
Mm-hmm.
And they say, "Doesn't matter. We were able to trace who they were trying to contact. Somebody named Neo." And he goes, "We'll need a search warrant." And he's like, "It's already underway." And then boom.
Yeah, they all complete each other's sentences like they're very hive minded, which is
they are
interesting.
hive mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the thing that I find interesting is that even Agent Smith at the beginning of the movie, it shows that he is somewhat different from the other agents.
Mm-hmm.
He is part of their unit, but it's very clear he's got a little bit of personality to him. And I don't care what anybody says. Hugo Weaving was perfect cast for this because.
Nobody can argue with Hugo Weaving as Mr. Smith.
Agent Smith, because just the way he talks is like he's got such a smug superiority to him. And I love that because we've all met that guy. So right off the bat, this is our bad guy. Yeah, we don't like him, especially when he shows up and he goes, "Lieutenant," and the lieutenant goes, "Oh shit." The lieutenant knows. All right,
here's my diction somewhere else.
Uh-huh.
You send 5 units up to nab her. I'm pretty sure we can handle one little girl. No, officer, your men are already dead.
Well, almost immediately when he talks to him, he says, "Lieutenant, you were given explicit instructions," as if he's like, "Already you have just crossed me, and you do not know what you've crossed. You do not know what you've done." And he's like, "Oh please, yeah." He's like, "Oh please, don't pull jurisdiction and all that crap." And yeah, the way he says, "No, Lieutenant, your men are already dead." It's like you're like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you kind of get a sense of what he's saying, anyways.
No, yeah,
You get a
it's
sense
that.
that she's gonna like it's gonna be your typical action movie. She's gonna take the guys out.
And Agent Smith is one of the few people who knows what Trinity is capable of. So clearly, and then as it's further emphasized, because he says, "No, Lieutenant, your men are already dead," we have that badass action scene. And Trinity is frantic, like saying the line was traced. Are there any agents? And of course, now you know, well, so Agent Smith, one, knows what they're dealing with Trinity, and two, Trinity is afraid of them or afraid of what they are. So already you know these you've established your protagonist and your antagonist without ever saying which one's good or which one's bad. That's filmmaking. Sorry, I didn't mean to ramble that long.
Moving on to
Yeah.
Neo real quick. So
And
this,
right after
this
the scene, bam, we got our hero moment.
hmm
And what is he doing? He's asleep. Again, what is sleeping? What is dreaming? You know, it's real. It's just it's already setting up the payoff that's going to come later. Neo asleep in in the comfort of his room, his small little corner, his place within a system. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
so yeah, there's a theme of dreaming and Alice in Wonderland going on here, where he's visited by these you know clients, if you will, who's basically paying him for hacker material. I forgot what it was, but he gives him a disc and all that stuff, and um he's already he's before that happened, he's visited by Morpheus via chat,
Mm-hmm.
basically where our chat rooms were back then.
Oh God, this is
Now
also why I love watching the original Matrix. Takes me back to the '90s era of the internet.
like
Oh,
nice era IBM computers.
oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. That was before the internet became the all-consuming matrix that we have now.
Oh goodness, man. I mean, Fizz.
Like I say, we're not alive yet, so
Yeah, you weren't allowed to experience the TV computer, as I like to
Mm-hmm.
call them today. This is like a
Or
mini TV.
no, I know I had used one of those. Was one of
Yeah,
those.
it's the early 2000s. We were still using those clunky ass computers. But what I'm saying is,
or,
like we had the very clunky shit during the
mm-hmm.
90s.
Oh yeah, this was when also what I love about this, there was a short-lived genre of sci-fi known as disc punk. Okay, it was sort of like steampunk or cyberpunk. No, it was called disc punk, where everybody had a computer and everybody had to throw a floppy disk in, or
Oh
the
yeah.
CD punk genre, where the future of humanity is inside this laser disc and it must be
I mean,
played in a
I mean,
stereo.
Fizz, you still had the big computers too, the big screens.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I'm saying we had those TV looking ones
Oh,
back then.
yeah.
You
And
you had
that
the ones that rotate at that point.
Mm,
We had to look at the one looking back at us. They didn't turn.
oh,
um, remember when remember when interactive TV was actually just pick up your phone and dial a number. That's the era we lived in. That was interactive television
speaking
at
of
the time.
speaking of freaking payphones, man, did that feel very did that get you tingling when you heard a payphone ringing?
Oh yeah.
These days we don't got no payphones. Payphones either dead or ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I know.
No,
I never had a user friendly payphone ever in my life. No, I haven't seen. No, I haven't seen one.
they've become antique. People just swipe them off the road. I mean, yeah, the city tried to tear most of them down, but some people were swiping them.
I know, selling
hmm
them for lots of money since it's antique now.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, like I had to call collect one time
Mm-hmm. Oh.
back when I went to see Jurassic Park 3 by myself.
Oh man, and payphones were everywhere. Like I remember at the mall. Remember there was a whole section dedicated to payphones.
Oh goodness, I didn't see that, but I take your word for it there.
Even airports.
Oh man, airports. with
Of course,
payphone.
of course, they have to have a payphone. I mean, how you gotta call for something if the flight go wrong.
Yeah.
Or to let your family know that you're here. Pick
Exactly,
my ass up, motherfucker.
exactly.
What's take you so long? You should have been here by now. I that I'm not speaking from experience at all. I'm basically voicing somebody else's experience.
But I'm just saying that was the time,
Oh yeah.
where you saw technology the way of the future and the imagination was wild. Now it's like it has to be digital, has to be smartphone, has to be all that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually come up with digital payphones in the
Uh,
future.
I bet they will.
I mean,
Now they're trying to push this metaverse thing, which basically is the
okay,
Matrix.
okay. We're getting off track though.
Yeah.
Let's get back into it. So he meets Trinity, and of course, you get that whole again. You sticking to the Alice in Wonderland. She's he's following the White Rabbit. He meets Trinity. Um, I suppose she's supposed to symbolize the she's not really the White Rabbit per se,
No.
but she's meant to be some character from Alice.
Hmm. She's meant to be more so an inversion of the inversion of the Cheshire Cat, and Morpheus is supposed to be the Red Queen.
No,
But
no. In my mind, Morpheus is actually the caterpillar.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
hmm, I could see that, but when I always went to I went to the Cheshire Cat because with Trinity because maybe not. I could actually, you know what? Anyway, so
We're gonna
what you were
be here all day, so
yeah.
let's start
Wait,
moving on.
Trinity tells him that
Because
you're not really
well, yeah.
you're not really looking for Morpheus. You were looking to ask the one question that you want to know, and he says, "What is the Matrix?"
Hmm.
And already the title is now in the line of the movie. You're like going, "Okay, the Matrix is more than just a name. The Matrix, is it a place? What is the Matrix?" So already, yeah, she says, "If you want to know, it'll find you." And right then we get the alarm clock. The dream sequence is quote unquote over, and Neo is back in the real world and getting chewed out by his boss.
Yeah, because he's late for work. Of course, he wakes up. He's late for work. This is where he gets to another. It's kind of like a. Have you noticed that there's been a lot of cat and mouse missions
Yep.
throughout this movie? So you
Oh
get into
yeah.
a second cat and mouse. Basically, the agents coming to get the quote unquote informant, which is Neo. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, he's been while he's at work, he's delivered a package, which is the phone that Morpheus contacts him with, and
Oh,
he's had
God. Another callback to the '90s. Remember those phones?
those clunky ass cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know those that text phones, where you had the buttons on flip phones. Wait, not no flip phones were early 2000s.
Yeah, those are 2000s. The slip phones, I like to call them
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that go.
This movie popularized that.
And we have our leading lady, Leia plus size, with us.
Woo! Lady of Fire! Leia!
She's
Good.
laying red.
Welcome to the real world.
Thank you, Scooney, for that, because the real world is exactly what I need.
You're not missing much. Me quote Morpheus real quick, and we're already on the part where we're on the part in the cat and mouse sequence where Neil has to run away and hide from the agents at his own job. I mean, damn! Imagine that situation when you're in your own job at your own job.
I think
It's a good
privately,
job.
everybody wished that would happen because we've all had a mundane job where we're all getting chewed out by our boss, and
Nothing exciting happens until somebody comes looking for your ass.
suddenly you get a mysterious package. It's a phone. The phone says they're coming to get you, but I can get you out. And suddenly, holy crap, you're on an adventure. Come on, don't tell me everybody didn't secretly wish
Pause
that.
for a minute, Schooner
Mhm.
Led. Share your experience with this movie.
Well, I tell you, I think back to when this movie came out. Let me think back when that movie came out. Where was I? I actually was in a theater group, in a community theater group, and they were talking about this film. I had seen commercials and trailers, but I really didn't know much what this movie was about. I knew I was wondering where Keanu Reeves had been. I said, it's been a long time since I've seen Speed. I wonder what he's up to. Yeah. And then everybody in the group, in the theater group, was talking about this movie and telling me, but I didn't see it the first week it opened. I saw it the second week because everybody was talking about it. Everybody was saying, "Oh, you got to see this film. You got to see this."
Wish my
And I
mom would
said,
have taken us to the movies to see it. We had to see it on VHS. We
Yeah,
rented
me
it.
too.
Actually.
"Oh,
All
you
three of us all three of us, Lady of Valor, watched it on VHS. You lived the dream. You saw it in theaters.
I don't know. This is just my fate to see these films in the theaters. A lot of the classic pop culture moments I have been in the theater to see. So I said, okay, I'm going to take one weekend and I'm going to check this movie out. And in the second week, the theater was extremely crowded. So I said, this is a good sign. I said, okay, I'll go ahead. Me and other members of my family went and checked this out. And like everybody else, I came out of it absolutely blown away by it. And then I started telling everybody else about what the film was. Yeah, one or two members that came out of it like, oh, I don't understand what this is all about. And I had to, you get those people, you have those people, I don't get it. Why does it be more simplified? I'm like, just this was the type of movie that is missing today. This is the type of check your brain at the door movie. This is what it means to be check your brain at the door, but in a good way, because
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was like, wait, who couldn't understand this movie? I was a simpleton as of simpletons, and I got it.
Oh, Scooty, there are those people that for some godforsaken reason, their brain cannot comprehend anything that is not either a soap opera or political drama or something that tells them straightforward what's going on. You've got those people that just don't know how to use their imagination. They just don't like to think. I don't know what it is. They just don't.
And I even respect this movie because it respected the audience too. You know what? We're going to do a slow build here. And you're suddenly going to realize who's who and what's going on.
I do agree. I absolutely agree. It respects. I'm sorry. I was agreeing with you. It respects the audience from the beginning to the end. I love the fact that at the beginning of the film, it's Trinity that we meet first. You're wondering, who is this person? Who is she? You don't really know what's going on, but we meet her first before we go into maybe the star, Keanu Reeves. And then I agree with you. It slowly builds. The story slowly begins to build. I like how it takes its time to build to the core of the story and to the core of the action. It slowly takes you through
a story.
And not in a boring way, but in a way like, I want to know more. I'm interested in. And each time I kept watching each scene, I was like, I want to know more. I want to know more. Tell me more about this. You've got me now. So tell me more about how this goes.
This movie actually surveyed expectations too.
Yeah. Well, what I found amazing about Wolf, and just like you're saying, Leah, it's that by the end of the first act of the film, you are.
I know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're saying, but they're playing with your expectation because the first half of the film, you're thinking, okay, what is this? Is this, organization? That's
still not what I'm talking about.
All right, what are you talking about?
You were hoping that Neil was going to get away from the agents, and then he's listened to Morpheus up to that point when Morpheus, but up to that point, Morpheus instructs him to get around the scaffold and climb down, and he's like, no way I'm doing that, and he just lets himself get captured.
Yeah, I thought at least he would try to escape.
He did. That's the thing. He did try. He inched a bit further.
He inched further, and then it wasn't until the wind picked right up and he dropped the phone, his connection to Morpheus, and that suddenly he's out there all by himself. And he realizes he doesn't, and this is the part in the hero's journey, which I love, that our hero doesn't think that they're ready yet. And this is the moment that confirms it, which is really great. The call to adventure and the rejection of said adventure when he
I mean,
allows
he could have
himself.
did a little bit of Circus Soleil around that thing if he had to. All he had to do was just climb down and move a bit inch around the damn thing and climb back up.
Okay, I'll say this as somebody who practically balanced themselves on walking on, like, curves. He could have easily just moved around it. He just didn't have to look down. Don't look down. You could have eased around it.
Dude, you're a man. You got the upper body strength. You're
Yeah.
good. You're good.
Yeah, exactly. Just ease around it.
Look, if you slip off, you die anyways. You don't have to go. You don't have to go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do like with the wait. That's later. We'll talk about that later.
But like you said, he does get arrested. He's taken in by the agents. We get that awesome scene with Agent Smith and Neo in that interrogation room.
Before we get into that, I want to go back to what you said, Scooney. Backtrack. The hero's journey. I think that's one of the reasons this movie did so well and became a phenomenon. It told the hero's journey. Audiences love the hero's journey. They love to see that. And this movie did a good job of doing it. I think this movie, but I'll get into that later, but I think this movie summed up the hero's journey in one film. But
I agree. I agree. Matrix did the hero's journey way better than Avatar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the thing. I mean, if you want to show people the traditional hero's journey, usually the top films that come to mind, Superman, Star Wars, A New Hope, and The Matrix. These are how you do the proper hero's journey.
Correct. And that's why I think this became the sensation that it was. Another thing I wanted to say, what my experience with this film is that this is another good example of word of mouth. Critical acclaim can get you so far, but when word of mouth starts to spread, and that's how this movie began to grow. This movie came out the year as Star Wars, the first of the Star Wars,
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace. This movie made Phantom Menace, and it outgrossed the Phantom Menace. And I think the reason was word of mouth. Do not underestimate the power of word of mouth. This was a film that grew very slowly at the box office. Each week it kept catching fire and getting bigger and bigger because everybody was going to see it. So you never underestimate the power of word of mouth. That's what's missing today. I'm not trying to be negative, but when we look at the success of this film, we see why a lot of movies today are not so successful. It's because the word of mouth is not good, except for maybe Spider-Man No Way Home.
Leia.
Okay. Well, I just want to say word of mouth is why I another reason I think this movie's success. It started in the box office receipts. I want to let everybody know out there, it didn't come out the gate with a lot of money. It grew to it. Now, as far as the interrogation scene, I like that too, after he's caught by Agent Smith and his agents, because he thinks they're just normal cops until he realizes that there's something more to these people than what they seem to be. Once he's caught by them, when he fails to escape, and Morpheus has to send Trinity and the rest of his crew to try and get him.
Well, and that's the thing too. What I love about this scene is that, however indirectly or not, this is the bad guy offering the hero. Now, first you have the original rejection. You have the initial rejection of the call to adventure, and this is where he's crossed the point of no return when Agent Smith says to him, "Help us find Morpheus, defend the system, be a part of the system, fall back in line, or
it seems that you have been living two lives. One life, you're Thomas A. Anderson, program writer for a respectable software company. You have a social security number, pay your taxes, and you help your landlady carry out her garbage. The other life is lived in computers, where you go by the hacker alias Neo.
And are guilty of
virtually every computer crime we have a law for. One of these lives has a future, and one of them does not."
Exactly.
And that's the moment where he's basically the part of the hero's journey where it's the point of no return. They drew the line in the sand and said, "Pick your side," and Neo's already decided.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good deal, but I got a better one. How about I give you the finger and you give me my phone call?
And I
But
love
you
that. And
understand, you disappoint me. You can't scare me with this Gestapo crap. I know my rights. I want my phone call. Tell me, Mr. Anderson, what good's a phone call if you're unable to speak?
It made his mouth
um,
disappear.
Oh yeah,
mhm.
that's where that scared the shit out of me as a kid.
See, that didn't freak me out as much because I've watched a whole bunch of cartoons at the time. I've seen mouths being removed, and I'm
But
like,
have
oh,
you seen it in a live movie?
Live action.
I
That's the
actually,
thing. Have
I
you
actually,
seen it in a live movie? That shit freaked
mhm.
me out, dude.
I already saw it in a live movie. I saw it in Beetlejuice when Beetlejuice took
Yeah, I
Alex.
saw
That
that.
ain't the
Made him different.
same.
That is still
Oh,
the same. The way his mouth
No,
was
it's
shrinking
not.
in,
He
the
zipped her lips. That
He
ain't
zipped her lips.
nothing.
I know.
And
He
they
didn't
throw
make his
a
mouth
metal
disappear.
plank over her mouth. That ain't nothing. I saw a man's lips melt.
They
no,
merged together.
what scared me more than anything was that squid thing burrowing in his
Oh, that
belly button.
too.
Yeah,
That that
that
that
too.
elevated the scare factor too.
That
That
actually
was
scared me.
body. That was body horror.
Mm.
And
Okay.
went to his navel.
That's his
Shit.
navel.
Oh man! Don't tell me you didn't impulsively cover your navel when that happened. You're
I
like,
Oh
did
no,
too.
I was more. I, let me recall the feeling I got when I saw that shit going. I felt a tinge in my damn navel when that happened.
oh
Actually, I
Yeah,
man.
didn't
yeah,
cover it.
yeah. That was body horror. That was body horror, not the mouth closing thing. That wasn't really that horrifying.
You
Uh,
But
lie.
and then
I
go ahead, Leah.
I was worried
Sorry,
that
let me correct myself. You lie.
when I saw that scene, I still was sucked in because I didn't know. So is this film just going to be about Morpheus
And then
trying
he
to
wakes up
rescue
again.
him? Yeah, and then he's waking back up, and I
That's the
loved all
third
those.
time he's woke up.
But I loved all those metaphors about dreams and the dream world and the world of
Nightmares.
realities and the nightmares and all the metaphors they so beautifully woven into this film. I really
Mhm.
like that. I really like how they use the dream world and jumping between the dream world and reality. What is the reality versus the dream world versus the nightmare? They woven all that in so beautifully, and I liked how after he wakes up, you know, and he goes
Stop the
to the
presses real quick. Pump the brakes. We have a special guest today.
oh
I didn't
my
think she was going to show up. We have Star Storyteller with us. Hello, Star. She's from Ishi's group.
oh
Yeah, I know who
And
Star Storyteller is. But,
nigga,
to
I
me,
know.
Hey, Star Storyteller, welcome.
but I didn't know it's a female. But whatever.
Negro, Star Storyteller. The damn icon is a woman's face.
I can barely make out the icon because on phone screen.
Half the time she's talking about her child. That's a mother.
Okay, I got it.
Wait, you're
Oh
never
my
there when
God.
you do that.
This
Right.
is an only guest, and you insult them. My God.
I didn't insult her. Not
I
on
know you
purpose.
didn't. No. It's nothing but love from Fizz always.
Yeah. I'm just messing with you, Fizz.
But she also commented and said, "I could not watch that scene." Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I mean that scene. Ooh man. And then of
I
course
mean,
like, go ahead.
what comes after that? My goodness, wow! The
Like
way
he
how
ripped
they,
it
how
out of
they
his stomach.
yeah,
Little
they had to
did you
extract
know.
that same
Oh,
spot too.
yep. Little did we know that was the tip of the iceberg of what was coming.
Jesus Christ, that thing is real.
So I love it. So I love it how he wakes up and, like what Leia says, it's this dream world. But Morpheus calls him again, and he says, "You know, you're actually very important. They got to you first, but underestimated your value. If they knew what I
Amen.
knew, you would probably be dead." And he's like going, "What the hell is going on?" And he says, and he's like going, "All right, if you want to know, we will meet. I'll come and meet you." And he's out there. He gets picked up by Trinity and the others. And what's the first thing? And so he's like, "All right, here we go. I'm finally going to go see Morpheus." And then a gun is in his face. And he's like, "What the hell?"
Again, beautiful use of the metaphors of dream versus reality, especially when he
Mhm.
says that thing is real. He's not realizing. Oh, yeah.
Again, another attempt at slowly subverting our expectations. We expected him to comply, but no. Well, realistically speaking, he's like, "I'm out of here" at first, but it's like Trinity actually encourages him to trust them on this
Well,
one.
exactly, and she does this by more so saying, "Trust in me." You show that you trust in me, and I promise that that faith will not be abused. I will. So Keanu Reeves does it. He's like going, "All right, fine, I'll trust Trinity."
A bit
But
of
that's the only
foreshadowing on her part, which we'll
Yeah,
get into later on.
Well,
yeah.
that's the power of femininity done right.
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm,
her not to punch his daylight to say trust her, but she uses that Carrie Ann Nava does. Carrie Ann. I forgot her last name. I don't know.
Moss.
Carrie
Moss.
Ann.
Yes, Carrie Ann Moss does so beautifully. Is how
Mm-hmm.
you use that feminine power to calm him. That's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful way. We know she could take care of herself, but we
Mm-hmm.
still know that still there is that feminine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a seductive. It's more of that feminine coercion that
Yep.
she uses to calm him, and she uses a lot through the film. Notice from the tone of her voice throughout the movie, through the way she carries herself. She does not force him. It's that feminine wow that she uses that
Mm-hmm.
is the
Oh,
power
she
thing.
had them right there in the club too. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah, the club.
Putting the
Really,
moves on
that is,
her.
yeah,
Well,
really the
yeah,
scene.
exactly. And I think what's interesting is that at first, when she sees him, she's very formal.
Yes.
Okay, so hello,
And
Neo. Good to see
transparent.
you. Yeah, and he's like, even Neo is like going, "Holy crap, you're the Trinity," and he goes, "I'm sorry, I kind of pictured you as a guy," and she goes, "Most guys do." I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Internet culture
Yep. And then
predicted.
they predicted it,
Yeah,
but what I like about it is
Hang on, Leia.
like Leia was saying, when she talks to him, she leans close to him and whispers. Okay, and she's not so much trying to get into his head, but she's more so asking a question, and that makes him already start to question his reality. And then later on in this scene, when they're in the car, and he's getting a little freaked out by what is being revealed to him, and he wants to walk out, but Trinity instead, like what Leia was saying, puts a reassuring hand on his shoulder. She doesn't grab it. She doesn't pull him back in. She puts a hand on his
Doesn't
shoulder and
punch
says,
him in the gut either.
"No, no."
Right.
I mean, what was it? Switch had already tried that in the movie. She says, "Take your shirt off." Why? And she says, "Stop the car. Listen to me. We don't have time for 20 questions. So there's only two ways: our way or the highway." And already that doesn't work, because what does Neo do? He's like, "Fine, I'll get out." And it's Trinity's reassurance that, like you said, Leia, like, no, just kiss. That was like right there on the head.
You can't really fault Switch for
Yeah.
being that forward like that, considering the circumstances already, which we were going to get into a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit later on when we get to the big reveal. It's
Yeah.
you know, in this current climate right now of that time, you know,
Mhm.
you know, questions need you know questions are foregone for now until they can get to a safe spot, you know.
Mhm.
And it's like look, I know you got questions, but look, you gotta listen to us. You gotta do what we tell you to do, and we're on a time window, you know.
Mhm.
And it's like just go
Yeah,
ahead.
and not only what I also took from that scene too, they were going to go see Morpheus, and you see how the crew looks at Morpheus. He's more than just a leader to them, so she's being very super protective. It's like Morpheus doesn't do this with just about anybody. Okay, so
Mhm.
we're gonna trust you. You're gonna do exactly what we tell you, because he's taking a great risk coming into the Matrix, because you already know, and it's been set up that these agents, he's like, yeah, we want this guy.
Mhm.
I agree.
And
And
whenever he's in the Matrix, Morpheus runs that risk of being in danger. So yes, his crew is fiercely protective of him.
you explained it very well. Scooney, that's exactly true. I also like the fact that when we go back to that scene in the car, which he says when he tries to get out, and it says our way or the highway. They literally show a highway, a dark road, but that's a symbolism. That was a symbol of something, and we all know. We all come to points in our lives where we have to decide what path we're going to take, and I love how the movie just shows a literally free highway, and it's so when she says that literally, I love how they metaphoric. It's metaphoric, but they use it very well because he's literally looking out into a dark road, the unknown. Do I dare take a chance to go out into the unknown? I don't know what was it's spinning me up to, but I just know that perhaps I might be going the right way. And we all face that in life, in every aspect of life, whatever decisions we made, we wonder, am I going on the right road? So I like how that metaphor was made. And you're just
and like you're saying, Leah, it also shows with Trinity as well, is that it's okay to ask for help, to be vulnerable.
I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna jump ahead real quick.
Oh, okay.
So it really showcases how many times he could stay where he was throughout this whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I agree 100%.
We fought against it though. Like no, I want to know the truth, the actual truth of the what situation I'm in.
I like how Scooney says it's okay to ask for help. Again, in movies today, they write these heroes as I don't need anybody's help. I can do it all by myself. Asking for help is not a weakness; it's a strength.
Female heroes.
Exactly, Fizzo. The same, yeah. The female
Heroines.
heroines are the so-called female heroes now. They write the reason nobody likes a lot of them today is because they make asking for help as a weakness. It's not a weakness to ask for help. It's not a weakness to ask for assistance. And I like what Scooney said about Trinity assuring him it's okay to have questions. It's okay to feel like you're not in command of what's going on. We'll guide you there. And again, her feminine, the power of femininity, like you guys said, your friend there in Storyteller said she's very motherly to him at first. And there are a lot of motherly in metaphors in this movie as well. And I'll get into that later, where I see more motherly metaphors coming up in this film.
Yeah.
But I love the scene when we do meet Morpheus. And I'm just going to say briefly, at that time, Lawrence Fishburne was a hot actor. My mom absolutely adored him. She has all his films. But I loved him in this. I don't know if you guys.
I'm gonna share my fun fact with you as well, Leia. Just like I shared everybody earlier. I originally thought Morpheus was the bad guy when I was a kid. This is long before I watched the movie. I originally thought he was the bad guy. Cool shades, long overcoat. You know, even when I saw the makings of the Matrix, like still didn't know what the heck is going on, right? But like the scene where he touches the mirror, right? And engulfs him. I thought he set a trap for him.
Okay. Okay.
And again, this was I said this earlier. This is coming off the heels of movies that had the villain trying to recruit the hero. We had a series of movies like Into Deep. Not the series. It's a movie called Into Deep. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that movie, Leia.
Yes, I've seen it several times. Yes.
And I did mention that we're probably going to talk about that one of these days when I get around to letting you guys know when to check it out, how to check it out, if I can help you guys check it out, because I'm going to how it sees to watch it. But yeah, it's especially when it's LL Cool J, who's a crime lord that calls himself God.
Yes.
I'm still tripping off of that because it's like once I first. Like I saw a commercial of that movie. Sidetrack, guys. Get a little sidetrack here, but I'm gonna get us back on track.
Okay.
But like nothing prepared me for that. When I actually got around to watching that movie, it's like the moment who was that? I heard somebody saying yeah.
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe caught from the background.
Could
Not
be.
me. Nobody's in the room beside me.
Well, we already know where you go with your private time now. Kidding.
Oh no. Maybe
kidding.
it's the Matrix. They're hacking us.
Anyways, what I was saying was like nothing prepared for him calling himself God in that movie.
Hmm.
It's like, oh my goodness. But anyways, so we get that big monologue from Morpheus telling him of what he's offering to Neo.
Hmm.
We
And he
and
tells him, unfortunately, you cannot be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it with your own eyes in order to believe it. And this is basically when he tells him, you are now at the point of no return. Okay. You take the blue pill and then you take the red pill. And he says to Neo when he's reaching for the red pill, he says, remember, all I'm offering you is the truth. What
mhm.
comes next? What comes next is your choice.
That line that Lawrence Fishburne says, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. When I saw the trailer for this movie, that line kept going around in my head. See, here's the interesting thing, and then we'll get back to the scene. Like I said, I will backtrack again because I'm using this because I'm metaphoring what we're seeing now and why movies suck now. The trailer
Mhm.
for this film was perfect because it didn't show you too much. But I know every time after I watched that trailer, I kept hearing Lawrence Fishburne's voice. No one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. And it kept making me curious. It kept sucking me like,
Uh-huh.
I want to know what the Matrix is.
I imagine that
So
right now you feel like Alice, tumbling down the rabbit hole. You could
the
say that.
the Alice
I
in
see it.
Wonderland metaphor. Yeah.
I see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who assesses what he sees because he's expecting to wake up. Ironically, that's not far from the truth. Do you believe in faith, Neo? No. Why not? Because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life. I know exactly what you mean. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That's that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that brought you to me. You know what I'm talking about. The Matrix. You do know you do want to ooh, I'm flubbing up the line now.
You're on a
Yeah,
roll.
you're
Are you
good.
saying it
You're
on the top
doing
of
good.
your are you saying it off the top of your head?
No, I got IMDb cheats.
It's got to be. I'm
Oh,
like,
I'm seeing,
wow, Wolf.
guys.
I am so
Wolf,
impressed.
Do you want to
Wolf,
know what it is?
Wolf,
Yes. The Matrix is everywhere. It's all around us. Even now in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is a world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you're a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, into a prison that you cannot taste or see or touch. A prison for your mind.
See, at
Go
this
ahead,
point,
Swinner. Sorry, Leia.
that's
No, no,
fine.
no. I'm just exactly. You just say it so perfectly. It's like, okay, so what the heck does that mean? And it exactly leads into the next line. He says, unfortunately, no one can tell you about the Matrix. You have to see it with your own eyes. And that was kind of what Leia was saying earlier about word of mouth. People couldn't explain it. They just said, you gotta see it. Just see it. I can't explain what it is. You gotta see it.
And boy, my goodness, how they did it
I know.
when he
We
made the
woke up
choice.
when we woke up in the tube and he saw the machines and stuff, and then after he got plugged, he got flushed down the toilet
Man, when I
essentially.
saw that scene, I was checking myself for tubes
Mm-hmm.
That's a great
as a
Well,
scene.
and not
kid.
only that, what freaked me out was when he wakes up and then he just pops right out, and immediately he pulls off that mask and that long tube comes out of his throat, and I'm like, oh, do we got that? When did H.R. Geiger get upset?
What I found funny was that he got flushed down the toilet, like flushed down.
Mhm.
Well, Fizz, I didn't take that as flush down the toilet. I took it as giving birth.
Mhm.
Surprisingly, that's how I took it, going down the birth canal. And then their way, a lot of metaphors in this film, their way
Mhm.
of him becoming being in the womb of the Matrix and now being birthed into the reality of what it
Mhm.
really is. That's what I took from it. And another thing I
But
wanted to say, the scene real quickly, the scene where they meet. Again, I love the Alice
Welcome,
in Wonderland metaphor. I
to the
saw
real world.
a lot of Alice in Wonderland metaphor, especially with the mirror. He has to go through the mirror in order to
That was what
make
did Alice find,
Through a looking
Yep.
glass.
Yes,
or
going through
through the looking glass? Actually,
yes, going through the looking glass, the mirror. And when I saw him as Morpheus, I just got this Gandalf Yoda vibe from him. So immediately, the way he talked and carried himself, I said, I'm still figuring this character out until when I became a huge fanatic of this film and I looked up what the name Morpheus means, when it comes from.
can we take
I
a
was like,
moment?
makes
Can we
sense.
take a moment of the duality real quick?
Mm-hmm.
So in the Matrix world, you see him as this ethereal guy wearing this long overcoat. He's got this mystique about him, right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you meet him in the real world, yes, he's the same self, but he rushes to Neo. He has this concerned look on his face. Everybody does, mind you. But like the moment you read Lawrence Fishburne's face, it's like he has this concerned look, and then and even he still maintains that face, and he
Yep.
utters the word "Welcome
Well,
to the real world."
and that's also tying into the Judeo-Christian metaphors too, because throughout the movie, Agent Smith and Morpheus are wearing sunglasses over their eyes. Eyes are the windows to the soul, and it's supposed to show that they are both soulless beings. But with Morpheus, when you see him there, he's not. He's more like what you said. He's like this ethereal guide, this Yoda-esque figure who is offering a source, like it says in The Hero with a Thousand Faces. The master has appeared. He is the master, and ready to train the student. So, but you see already he has traits and qualities resembling the bad guy. So now you're wondering, like, is he good or is he evil? And then he gives the hero his choice. The hero makes his choice. And later on, when we see him in the real world, we don't see his sunglasses. We see his eyes. We see a
There's a parallel there too. I overlooked, which is
good.
The agents gave him a Faustian deal, whereas Morpheus offers transparency in a way. I'm trying to figure out what was the opposite of the Faustian deal, but it escapes me right now. I'm pretty sure Squim might come up with a better name for it.
Well, yeah, exactly. It was either you make the Faustian deal with the devil, or you choose to take a leap of faith.
There we go.
There it is.
And that's really what it is. It's about fate and destiny. And of course, what Morpheus reaffirms when he says, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more, he's offering him free will. This is your choice. Everything that comes now is on you.
In spite of him being a stand-in for Orpheus.
Morpheus.
Orpheus, the god of drink, or at least.
I think that's what his name was based on. Exactly. That's what he was.
Where's Orpheus?
Orpheus is the god of dreams.
Yes.
From what?
In Greek in Greek mythology, Fizz. In Greek mythology. When you have free time, Google Orpheus and the god of dreams, and you'll see that name. When I found that out, I'm like, now everything makes sense now why he has that name. And I want to go back very quickly to what
you came to that conclusion on your own. I had to use Wikipedia for that one.
Yes. Wikipedia too. That's what I meant to say. If you got time to Wikipedia it. And
no. I'm saying when I wiki Matrix, at this point when the trilogy was already now done, it's like oh, he's Orpheus. Oh, that's interesting. But continue, Leigh. I'm sorry.
I just want to jump back to what you said about the costume designs of the characters. It's very interesting how you thought the way they were dressed, that they were the bad guys. That's another interesting thing about this film. They look like the bad guys, but they're really not. Even with the icon you have here, they look like they would be more like somebody in a nightmare that's out to get you.
like a cover of Heat.
Yeah. They look like a gang.
But I get what Leia is saying. It looks like they're about to commit a heist. Criminals breaking the law. Another one of those 90s staples of, oh, it's cool to be bad.
Right. Right, exactly.
I mean, Grant, he did came off a Point Break before he got to this movie too.
Oh, dear Lord, Point Break.
We will have to talk about that movie at some point. I gotta refresh my memory though.
And don't forget Speed. He had a huge hit with Speed, which I
loved him in Speed. I hated him in Point Break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't like You didn't
No,
like
no,
his
I'm sorry.
biceps?
No. I'm sorry. What I meant to say was chain reaction. Sorry, that was my bad with Morgan
Okay.
Freeman.
Yeah.
That was
I'm about to say, you
I
didn't
could
like
not
his biceps.
no, I could not stand him in chain reaction. Point Break
Uh,
was the original Fast and Furious.
oh yeah.
Good name. Yes, it was. You're right. You're absolutely right. And
But
that
they
was
had to remake Point Break at some point, and it was
And
stupid.
the thing that kills me is that when they did the remake, all the critics came out and said, "Oh look, a Fast and Furious wannabe," and I'm like, "Fuck this! It was Fast and Furious before it was Fast and Furious."
But we're getting sidetracked. Let's keep going.
Okay, well, let me see. They've already met, and we talked about, like, there's a lot of metaphors of dreams. The going through the Alice in Wonderland metaphors, which I caught on a lot, going through the mirror, going through the looking glass, and then the costume look, meaning that they looked like, and but they're really the good guys. So I like that costume switch, that you got the impression they were bad, but they really were the ones that were good, even though they don't look like it. So that's a good way of twisting
And
the
that other
heroes.
movies kind of ripped off that aesthetic and didn't really
Well,
do much with it.
Oh my
well,
God!
and that
After
is-
this film, they ripped
Like
it off.
Resident Evil.
Yep.
That was
Oh
the
my
personal offender. And
But-
if funny enough, it kept to that aesthetic for a long time. And strangely enough, even then, more movies were ripping off Resident Evil after that. Funny how that works.
Building on what you're saying, Leia, yeah, and the costume designs, Alice in Wonderland, dressing like bad guys. But when we get to the real world, they're like dressing in those like old school garbs of like the biblical peasants.
Hippies.
Well, I would say the biblical peasants, you know,
Hippies.
harkening back to the Judeo-Christian
Hippies.
All right, fine. Wow.
When you say there are a lot of religious metaphors in this movie, like Scooney says, Judeo-Christian and Christian metaphors. When you said even how Morpheus goes to Neo and offers him free will, it's a very Christ-like, very Christian kind of way. There's a lot of that also going on. But the beauty of this film is how many allegories they were able to mix into this movie and make it work. They really meshed so many in this film, but it works.
And then when we see him in the real world after Neo's birth, like you said, traveling through the birth canal, he like shows up like a father.
And scoops his ass up too. I like that.
Yeah.
The literal hand of God coming down, and
Get your ass in here.
and the way, like I said, Morpheus goes to him like a father. He says, "Welcome to the real world," as if he's welcoming a newborn.
I'm surprised they didn't slap on their ass.
No, it was.
That sounded convincing, didn't it? That sounded too convincing, didn't it?
Yes.
Damn. I need to get the voice acting, guys. I seriously need to get the voice acting.
Nah, I can never be a voice actor.
Hey, don't doubt yourself, man. Your voice is just fine. You just need to be Squidward. Everybody keep envisioning me doing this to Fizz every time I think of Squidward.
Oh.
Had enough yet? No.
I knew that was coming. Oh, I should have braced myself. Oh, I should have braced myself. Oh, Fizz.
Sorry, we'll be getting to that next movie pretty soon. Trust me.
Anyway, but yeah, he wakes him up and he decides that he's going to show him the world. First, shows him the world by telling him, all right, like I said, here's what happened. Humanity made AI, AI rebelled, and we basically are now their batteries. Yes, that is an It's basically an oversimplification, but that's what. But that's
My
all.
mom cracked up when she saw a Duracell battery.
Yeah. Oh my God, we are made by Duracell.
Oh, what a shock. Oh, and I was like, oh, no Energizer Bunny coming through there saying going. That's the first thing I would say would be like, but where's
Yeah, the Energizer Bunny is using us.
Where's the, yeah.
Mr. Bunny is really disgusted. Oh, I know this movie's crap.
Yeah, Judge a Bunny. And I do like to the part where he, like, I think you've already touched on this, where he reloads him into the Matrix to tell him about how he's been living in the Matrix all this time, and this is what the real world is, and show the history of how everything came to be. So it has a Terminator vibe feel
Oh
to it.
God,
But
the scenes of
again,
that show almost felt like Terminator at that point. Terminator 2
Well,
specifically.
but
yeah,
yeah, exactly. But what really took me out of that was the moment when Morpheus says, I'm exactly where you are, Neo. For the longest time, I didn't believe it either until I saw these fields of humans with my own eyes. And then they actually show that, oh, that was a pretty heavy scene. I know it was a prop baby, but it looked real for me at the time.
yeah.
When the baby is getting filled in there,
Look,
and you're like
watch,
going,
watch as they
yeah.
liquefy the dead to feed them intravenously to the living.
And
That is
then, and he
that
says,
is
Yeah,
on.
yeah, this cannibalism, but they didn't
yeah,
know it though.
and he goes, and
It's
he goes,
people.
and he just says, and standing there facing the horrific procedure, I came to realize the awful truth. What is the Matrix? Control. The Matrix is a computer simulated dream world designed for the express purpose of self preservation, turning an ordinary human being into this. And that's the moment when Neo has his complete breakdown. He's like going, I do not believe it at all. This is impossible. And Morpheus says, I didn't say it would be easy, Neo. I just said it would be the truth. And that's the moment where Neo is like, I can't accept this. I have to go back. Take me back. I don't want to be here. And they realize,
Morpheus,
okay,
what's happened to me? What is this place? More
yeah,
important than where is when? When?
you believe
Again,
it's the year 1999, but it's closer
You
to
believe it's in the year
2021.
1999 when it's in fact closer to 2199. I can't tell you exactly what year it is because we honestly do not know. There's nothing I can say that will explain it for you, Neo.
Yep. And what were you going to
again, I'm sorry.
I don't know which one. I don't know who struck first, us or the machines, but I do know that it was us that scorched the sky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paraphrasing. That's
No,
that's as far as the quotes can give me. Sack of shits. You guys suck on that front.
no, you're
So
doing
much
good.
so much material you can fucking put into, and you can't even put that line in.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, the way how he philosophized that line, that shit chilled me. Like we burned the earth. I mean, no, we
Cloud
burned
the
the
sky.
sky.
Cloud the sky.
Yep. No,
No,
he said scorched. We do
Oh.
know it was us that scorched the sky.
I was like, we did that, which
How?
which I will be getting into when we get into the anthology series, which Fizz shut up.
Oh, God. I was
But
just going to briefly say
I
that.
already heard his dissent, and I don't want to hear it again. We're covering that whether you like it or not.
I was going to say very briefly so we can move on. The scene where he is told the truth about where he's at. Again, metaphor. How many of us perhaps maybe lived all our lives in a lie and someone finally tells us the truth about something? It could be
and
personal, it could be
yeah,
family, it could be your own self. I know when I saw that scene, it made me decide what path I wanted to take in life. I'm not going to get into my whole story, but I saw it as a metaphor of the choices that I made in life and the changes I was about to make
Take
because
back
of
your
it.
city. Take back your freedom.
And
That's my.
but again, it's like you're saying, Leia. What do you do when you have that reality brought forth to you? At first, you deny it, but
yes,
at the same time, a part of you realizes it's truth, and you're afraid of it.
right.
Yeah, redneck. We all know that bullshit too.
But it was so
Don't ruin
played.
our fun, man. It's cool in concept. Damn it, let it be.
Originally, I know for the fact that Chelsea's wanted the robots to use the humans as a computer system, which makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's not get into that. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be supplementary material right there.
But
And in
Well,
fact, let's go ahead and skip to the train scene, which
Yes.
fucking amazing there.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
spare no expense on hiring a choreographer and a martial arts expert to train these guys.
yep.
I mean, everybody had to
Yes.
train extensively to do the half the shit that they were doing in these movies. I mean,
That's
Lawrence
one of the
Fishburne not
things.
so much,
That,
but you know,
that's one of
everybody else, including hold on, Schooner, including
yeah.
Keanu Reeves, was doing their shit. But go
Yeah.
ahead, Schooner, take it
No,
away.
Exactly.
that's what you were saying. Everybody committed to this project. Lawrence Fishburne actually trained. Keanu Reeves actually trained. This stuff, I mean, they were
No
not.
bullshit. Everybody trained, even weapons training. They had martial arts training, weapons training, ass kicking training. You name it.
Yeah. I mean, this is where, I mean, when the studio said, man, the budgets are running high, well, that's because, you're training with all these people and the visual effects, obviously. But all
Oh,
these people.
Keanu Reeves not so cheap now, huh?
I'm talking about playing all these trainers and, liabilities just in case somebody misfired a gun. Or
Oh, you
if
say that. Oh, suddenly Keanu Reeves not cheap now, huh? You gotta train his ass, huh? That costs money, doesn't it? Apparently.
Exactly.
Yeah, capitalism. Awesome.
Yep.
Isn't capitalism just so wonderful?
Yes.
Yes, it kills me. But yeah, they were. I mean, that's why I love the fact that everybody brought their A game here. I mean, even Hugo Weaving. I mean, he wasn't doing martial arts, but he was doing his part as well. I mean, damn.
That was all him. That was no stunt double.
Mm-mm.
Well, for
As-
certain things, yes, they had to use a stunt double, but a lot of the times, no. A lot of them just said, "We're going this straight, you and I. You and me."
I agree with you all said. I love the fact that every main cast member had to take training. They took it seriously. They didn't whine about it. Nobody said, well,
I'm sure it was a
it's
bit
not
of
my
whining.
thing. It probably was, but you didn't hear a lot
I
about
mean,
it.
workman whining. I'm talking about workman. Like, man, this is kind of hard, isn't it? Yeah, but I'm still going. I'm still going.
Yeah, that's
My shoulders ache, my muscles ache in places I never thought would ache. But I'm good. I'm good.
that's commitment, and that's another reason why the training scene rocks, and all of
Oh
Carrie
my
Ann's
goodness,
scenes rock.
goosebumps like at first you got the Taika drums right in the first sparring session, but
Mhm.
when they went again on the second sparring and when that song come in, I get goosebumps every single time.
Yeah.
Morpheus fighting Neo. Everybody rushes over to watch them and stuff. Oh wait, before we even get to that, we do need to explain how they get the abilities, not powers, abilities,
Yep.
which is
Oh
downloading
yeah.
to your brain.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, wouldn't life be so much simpler if we had a freaking chip in our head and we download all that shit in our head?
No,
Yes.
I don't want to get hacked.
That is
Yeah, same thing here.
I don't want to end up like Ghost in the Shell.
But I see.
I think or an upgrade. Remember that?
oh yeah.
My
At the end of
God,
that?
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
goodness. Oh, we got to talk about that. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be on. Leia, you need to watch that movie. That movie's awesome
Mhm.
and
think-
tragic.
I think I've seen it. I just forgot how the story goes, but I will try to.
We'll refresh our memory.
But,
Oh,
Yeah.
and let's not forget Hardcore Henry.
oh
Never saw
yeah.
that.
Oh,
gotta
you
check
got
it
to
out,
see it. It's amazing. That
I
is
mean-
a callback to 19 interactive computer games. That
That's
was a
basically the
callback.
first person shooter as a live action movie. I got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But getting back on track here, when we he's uploaded the abilities, but what I love is that they show him in the sparring room and he's actually training with it. So when it's upgraded into him, he knows it, but he still has to, work it
Get
out,
used to it.
get used to it. So yeah, the
I know
sparring
Kung
session
Fu.
is amazing.
Show me.
Show me.
I gotta show you now. Wait, I thought it was done. No, you gotta show your stuff, man.
You got to show your skills. You got to show your skills.
I'll
I
be a
just-
little
I just
bitch when I kick you in your ass.
Not only that.
I just
and
remember.
also, yeah, go ahead.
I also remember in the Rise of Skywalker, they gave Ray Daz a Marisu ability.
Yep.
To explain why she got so good the Force.
Nigga, why are we talking about that?
No. I'm saying, wait a minute. You can't just say Ray got that powerful via a Matrix as
Why are we
Morpheus.
on that?
Because it's the exact
Why
same
are you
thing,
contributing,
but
This
stupid,
is
but
actually
stupid, but
because
stupid though.
Spooner? Why are you contributing?
because this is no because Fizz is making a great point here.
It's relevant, but I don't want to hear it right now. Continue the story, damn it.
All right. So he says, "Show me." And I love the bit where he was already practicing for 10 hours, and Morpheus says, "So let's fight." And it's like that's the master. All right, you've learned. Now let's see what you've learned. Do you think you're powerful? Let's see what you can do. And of course, Morpheus hits him back down. The master reminding the student, "You may have this, but you are not strong. What is strength?"
Exactly. And very quickly, Wolf, I understand what Fizz and Schooner was trying to say. You see that the part of the hero's journey is the hero has to learn the powers that he has. He doesn't just walk in, and now what Fizz is trying to say now, this is why the Matrix is a classic. Because again, you see a journey taking place, whereas in a movie like the Skywalker series, Ray comes in, knows all, sees all, and tells all. So there is no story. There is no
Now she
journey.
contributing.
Right. But
You're
here,
not exempt from this because you're a woman.
exactly.
Why are you still talking about it?
Yep. I knew he was going to come back with that one.
But we'll move on. We'll move on. But it just explains why
Look,
this movie is a classic.
y'all still trying to keep on this, and this is all I'm thinking.
Now, can you please help us?
And can you please back up out my damn face?
But yeah, what I love about the training session is that they're watching Neo because this is also the time in the movie where you're always wondering why is everybody so fascinated with Neo? What's with Morpheus? They're all in this because Morpheus believes Neo is this one that they're talking about. Okay. So at the end of Act 1, you finally discover what the Matrix is, but there's still more of a mystery. What is the one? What are they talking about? Why is Morpheus so interested in Neo? And this is where Act 2 comes in. The setup in Act 1, it's set off. Act 2 becomes payoff.
Exactly.
You're going, what is the one? And then you see them training, and the entire crew is watching them train, and you're like, well, wait a minute, didn't they all go through stuff like this? Why is this suddenly a big deal? And we start to learn more about what Morpheus thinks Neo is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that happened after. Yeah. So after he rejects reality, he passes out, and he falls, and he passes out, and he wakes up, and Morpheus is there once again, showing the father figure, waiting for his son to see if his son has awakened, if he's actually okay, to actually talk to him. That metaphor of God and Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
And he says to him, when the Matrix was first created, there was a man born inside who could change whatever he wanted to remake the Matrix as he saw fit. And it was he who freed the first of us, which has allowed us to wage this revolution for as long as we can. After he died, the oracle prophesied his return, and his return would hail the destruction of the Matrix and the war. And that's why I did what I did, because I believe you are that one who's going to save all of us. So Neo, having just woken up like, oh my God, my reality is fiction, now suddenly I'm this all-time savior, he takes it pretty well. He's like, oh God, no. It's like, oh geez. so it's like I can't go back.
No pressure, guys, huh?
No pressure. It's like, oh God. Listen, I don't know what you're thinking, but I just woke up and found out my entire reality is a lie. Now you're saying I'm this prophesized hero? No way. And Morpheus, I love this because he's like, don't worry, you're gonna get it. But
the Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we're trying to save. But until we do, these people are still part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged, and many of them are so inured, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? I was. Look again. Freeze it. This is the Matrix. No, it's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you're not one of us, you are one of them.
What are they? And the sentient programs. They can move in and out of the system. And he goes, "That's why everybody who remains plugged is potentially an agent."
Yep. So
Exactly.
by hiding from them, by running from them. But they are the gatekeepers. They're guarding all the doors. They're holding all the keys, which means that sooner or later, someone's going to have to fight them. Someone. I've seen an agent punch through a concrete wall. Men have emptied entire clips at them and hit nothing but air. Yet their strength, their speed, are still based on a world that's built on rules. Because of that, they'll never be as strong or as fast as you can be.
Mm.
So what are you
Because he's a
saying? I can dodge bullets? No, Neil. I said when you free your mind, you won't have to. Wait, I said
Well,
that wrong. When you're
yeah,
ready, you won't have to.
and that seems great because it's showing that despite the fact that the threat of these agents is very real, he tells him, but they have limitations, so there is a shot.
And
Mhm.
those limitations is what scares those agents too. That is what they're afraid of. That someone will come and know what that weakness is and
Oh
take them
boy,
out.
do they show that in the movie of what he's talking about? And boy, oh
Yes,
boy,
yes.
Because the one can hack into the matrix itself and change how the rule system work.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
still on the fact that the motherfucker can dodge bullets
Mm-hmm.
and punch through a concrete wall. Damn it!
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
love the dodging of the bullets.
Which when we get to the betrayal, which I think we're overlooking a few characters here, like
well,
Cypher,
yep.
APOC, Switch, Mouse.
I call I call
Right
I call
now,
I call them I call I'll say this right quick, Scooty, I'll let you come in. I call again a lot of religious metaphors. I call Morpheus' crew his disciples because we do
yeah.
have a betrayer. If you know the story in the Bible
Four
of Judas
horsemen too.
Iscariot, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yes, that too, and he is the character Cypher is the Judas Iscariot of the group. But
Mm-hmm.
continue, but the
That
other
and
characters,
we
yeah.
also I skipped over to Tank and Dozer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
those are
but what I find interesting, but I was just gonna, yeah, exactly. They're the disciples, and each of them have a distinct personality. But what I find hilarious is that most people always overlook Mouse. I'm gonna say this right now. He's on to something that the other crewmates haven't
Oh,
discovered
he's
yet.
on to something. He's a fucking pimp of a program.
No, not only that, but he says, "Pay no attention to these hypocrites, Neo. To deny ourselves is to deny what makes us human."
Yeah,
And
he's a fucking pimp.
And what is Cypher doing? Cypher wants to go back to the system because he misses that.
Oh
So,
yeah, which we get to that one scene where
and
he's
like
visited
like I'm
by
saying,
Smith.
Mouse is the one who says if you deny that part of yourself, because everybody on Morpheus' ship, his disciples, have more or less
Committed.
come to accept that the Matrix is not real, that the Matrix is all a fake and a simulated reality. But Cypher, having learned that truth, doesn't accept this reality. He wants to go back to one that makes sense to him.
he wants to live in the dream forever instead of face the reality of what it is. He wants to
Yeah.
stay stuck in the dream world, in the fantasy, in what is not real, and rather
Well, at least he
instead of
doesn't
putting
share
faith.
a ship with a guy who pimps a program.
That's the thing, though. Mouse is like there's a coping mechanism. It's basically an embracing of both
Still
worlds.
trying to find they had a Playboy magazine of her too.
I know.
Yeah, centerfold and everything. Like look, Mouse. Look, man. I ain't king shaming, but damn it, man.
Yet
I mean,
again,
he even told him that he could freaking change everything. He could give her a brunette, redhead, everything. Get some more enhancements in there. I'm like, bro, you got made.
one
And I'm
revolution.
surprised this didn't get explored in the sequels, which we'll be getting to shortly.
Here's the
I'm
thing
just thinking. I was
one of
thinking that Futurama episode was the scan celebrities for make
Yep.
sexual by versions of them.
I'm just
I'm like,
saying,
look, I was a kid too, right? I didn't even know that was what he was doing when he talked to Neo specifically. He did the little eyebrow twitch thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I did not, that flew over my head as a kid. And here as an adult, I was like, oh wow. Even APOC called him out on it, which
Yep.
got the line that That Schooner had quoted,
Yep. Um,
which means obviously he has tried the Lady in Red. I'm like, dude, you got Switch, really,
yep.
really?
Yeah, see, I actually believe that too, though it's never directly stated. I always thought that those two were a thing.
The Lady
Has
in
something
Red
going on.
and Mouse.
No.
No, APOC and Switch.
Yeah,
The
you know
two.
what? That's good that you said that. I got that vibe too. I couldn't figure it out, but I got this vibe that they're a couple.
Either that or
Isn't
they're
that?
just really strong platonic friends. Like they got a really good bond there.
But isn't
Yeah.
it interesting how we get that, and they don't have a lot of lines, they don't have a lot of time, but we instantly get they're connected.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was sad when they killed. I'm like, oh, I wanted to know more about when they dropped. I'm like, no, I wanted to know
Not
more
like
about
this.
that.
Not like
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Oh, it's creepy how they died too when you unplug them.
Well,
yeah. The way they
Well,
fall,
not only
yeah.
what I love about that, what I love about APOC and Switch is that when they're in the Matrix and throughout most of the story, they're very straight laced, like, oh, we're soldiers, we fight like we fight. But that scene where they're killed is they are legitimately afraid.
They're the Vasquez and Hudson.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it's that moment where
Hey, Switch, you ever been mistaken for a guy? No, have you?
it's what exactly. But when Switch says not like this, because the very idea of being killed by one of her own, that's a scary reality coming back to her. For the longest time, they thought it was the machines that were the enemy and we were the good guys. But to be killed by one of our own, that's you know.
And
Yeah.
that stings harder than anything. You could take a shot from your enemy, but when your enemy is right within you, it's one of your
Again,
own.
could you blame
It's
Cypher?
worse.
I mean, Ishii
Yeah,
had
I don't.
pointed this out one time in many of the streams when discussing the Matrix and discussing Cypher,
Mhm.
and he does raise a good point when you're in the real world. Like think about it like that. It's like you barely have food, you barely have water. Like even when you go to Zion in the sequel, like they're barely even maintaining those here and there. I mean, sure, you got a population growing, but it's like eventually that's going to run out. Like when you look at the real world, there's barely anything to scrounge up. You got no sun to grow anything.
Mm-hmm.
For one.
Well,
All the animals has died because of the sun being blocked out, and of course the war, which I'm going to get into pretty soon. What you going to say, Leia?
May I respond to that argument about Cypher? Even though that's true, another thing what that tells me Cypher has is lack of faith. Because if you have faith sometimes means you can't see it, you can't touch it, but you know it's there. And that means Cypher has no faith. Again, religious metaphors, whatever religious or whatever God or whatever mysticism you follow, there's always the line of faith in whatever that is.
Yep.
So Cypher shows his lack of faith. And when you have lack of faith, it is easy for you to fall back into everything around you if you don't have faith that it could be better or stronger. So that's what's his downfall. His downfall was his lack of faith. And even if you don't blame Cypher, that's no excuse for him to murder the whole crew.
Exactly. Well, the thing is,
oh yeah, I agree. And not only that, betray Morpheus, a man who set you free, and Morpheus gave Cypher his trust. I mean, Trinity really tore him a new one. Too.
yeah, really told us the truth. We told him to shove that red pill up your ass.
Yeah, and he's like, it's not true. He set us free, and he goes, free? You call this free? All I do, and he goes, all I do is what he tells me to do. If I have to choose between that or the Matrix, I choose the Matrix. And Trinity goes, the Matrix isn't real. And he goes, I disagree. I think the Matrix is more real than anything here, because out here, I just pull a plug, but in there, you have to watch APOC die. And that's a very dangerous, like you were saying, Leia, a lack of faith can just suddenly how it dehumanizes you.
Well, that's how people are sucked into cults.
Yeah,
that's how people are sucked into cults.
Now that you bring that up, Leia, in the Matrix Online, the now defunct Matrix Online, there's actually a cult called the Sons of Cypher.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, they follow Cypher's philosophy, and they're kind of like an enemy faction in that MMO. It was an MMO game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Server's
But
gone now. To this day. It's been gone a long time ago, but it's gone to this day. And it was, I don't know the statistics of the game or how good the game was, but you know, it is what it is. And now we got a new Matrix game coming out, and I'm not too thrilled about that.
I
And
Yeah, I
no
don't
know.
matter
really
no
care.
matter how good looking it looks,
Yeah.
But that,
too
yeah,
little, too late. Far too little, too late.
very far too little. I don't think I would know it by now.
Hey man,
But
look, the only way that game is gonna rope me in is the impressive customization, much like Cyberpunk 2077, which is lack of.
but basically Cypher's fall is his lack of faith. And your faith doesn't have to be Christian. It could be whatever you follow.
Hmm.
But his lack of that is what leads to his downfall and why he does the betrayal. And it's
Yep.
seductive. It's very seductive. It's like the Force in Star Wars. The
Oh
dark
God,
side is more seductive.
how he did Dozer, I was pissed.
Oh, me too.
Oh,
I
like
like that too. Oh,
Oh,
God, I was
man.
so
Oh,
happy when he
man.
did that. I wanted them to get him so bad.
Turned him to a chicken, man.
Yeah.
Damn,
Well, not only that, the way
fried chicken, man. He fried chicken his ass, and I'm still teed up about that. Like, bruh, that's the older brother.
Yeah.
You just fried my ass, motherfucker.
it's the injustice.
Look,
It's the injustice. That's what really makes it so tragic. Is
No,
that
we all clown on people how they identify with characters. Man, I swear, whenever I see a Big Brother, I immediately latch onto the Big Brother character because that's me. And so, like, when I see those are die, I'm like, you just killed me, motherfucker, and you wounded my little brother.
Yeah.
You gonna die.
I hated that. I did too.
Me
I
too.
felt maybe I feel the same way.
He reacted. He's like, Tank, no.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like,
But Tank avenges Dozer.
Yep.
yeah, I
avenges
love that.
Ray or
I-
not,
I-
you bitch, you're gonna fry.
Well,
Yeah.
and just like what you were
Man, you
saying.
didn't even give us a chance to see the aftermath. You gonna let us see Dozer's aftermath, but you ain't gonna let us see Cypher.
Well,
How much that man Bacon Black?
he got thrown into a metal pipe. The pipe and Cypher became one thing. So I'm fine. Cypher's dead.
Do you know what Cypher's last words were before he was fried?
No,
What was
I
his
don't
last words?
believe it.
I
There you
don't
go.
believe it.
And that is why
And
that is why he failed.
Yep. And
That
just
is
like what
why
you were
you
saying,
failed.
and just like what you were saying too, Leia, about faith, because before he says I don't believe it, he asks Trinity, "Did you really, honestly, after everything, after all that you've seen, everything that's happened, did you really buy into Morpheus's belief?" And Trinity says, "Yes. Her faith is rewarded because Tank gets up and kills
Let's talk
Cypher."
briefly about the Oracle real quick.
Oh yeah, the Oracle.
I love the Oracle scene.
It's a shame she passed away.
Yeah, I
the
was
actress.
sad when I heard that actress. I loved the Oracle scene. I loved her scene. I loved how she acted. And I loved how it wasn't, I love the setup that it wasn't what we thought it was going to be. She's this woman, this warm-hearted scene of this woman in her kitchen baking cookies like a grandma or aunt. And she turns out to be the all-wise one that sets him on the right path. I agree with you. I was ashamed that the actress had passed away.
And I just love already she's not like the traditional wise woman. There's a bit of sass to her when she says, "I know who you are. Do you know who I am? The Oracle? Bingo!" I love that bit of sass. Bingo. Not exactly what you were expecting.
Yes. And I like how she takes him into the counseling session. Like I said, there's with this characters, there's again that warmth, that motherly connection to Neo. There's lots of motherly images for Neo in this. You get it from Trinity, you get the fatherly from Morpheus, and now you get the motherly from the Oracle, even though the Oracle is this all-wise woman. And then the story that she tells him, I don't want to get deep into it. Maybe you guys could put emphasis on it. When she checks him out, and then she says, "Now at this point, you say I'm going to say I'm getting mixed up, but it's something."
Here, I got you, Leia. She goes, She goes, okay. Now I'm supposed to say, that's interesting. You're going to say, what's interesting? But you already know what I'm going to say, don't you? I'm not. And he goes, I'm not the one. Sorry, kid. She said, you got the gift, but it seems like you're waiting for something. That's the thing. And that's the thing too. Despite after everything Neo is seeing, he still does not 100% believe. He's still waiting for somebody to tell him. And what Morpheus and the Oracle are both trying to say, nobody can tell you who you are. You have to make that choice. Are you the one, yes or no? And he has to make that. It's his choice.
Exactly. And I love that moment. I do. I love that moment. Exactly the way you described it, Scoon, is exactly the way I took from it. And that is a life lesson for all of us. And that is what's different than what you're seeing now. I won't get sidetracked, but this movie is showing you why a lot of movies don't work today. He has to make the choice. No one can tell him. He has to decide, I'm either it or I'm not. And that's a choice we all come to in our lives, no matter what we choose to be. I'm either going to be what I'm destined to be, or I'm going to be like Cypher and have lack of faith in it and just go back and just get comfortable and not try to understand it, even if I don't understand it. And I think that, like I said, well, for me, for instance, I knew I wanted to go into or pursue something in the arts. I just couldn't explain it. I just knew it. And a lot of people told me, there's nobody in this family who's the arts, so why you? So why don't just go back and, like people say, your passion doesn't pay the bills. Remember, you ever told that line? Passion doesn't pay the bills. Go back and get a Monday job. Even though I do have a job to pay my bills, I still had a chance to pursue my passion and use my passion to do it. But I'm glad I took that leap of faith to go for it. And that's what I love about that moment, exactly the way Scooney describes it. That she said, it's like you're waiting, you got the gift, but it's like you're waiting on something. How many of us have been in that?
Neo.
How many of us?
Doubt and disbelief. Free your mind.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa is right.
Exactly. And not only that, the Oracle, unlike Morpheus, who's kind of like on the fence of like, he'll figure it out himself. The Oracle gives that little extra nudge in that direction, like saying, okay, maybe there's a way I can get you to make that decision without coercing you into making it. So she decides to tell him what's going to happen to Morpheus if he decides not to act, if he chooses not to. Which, of course, because we know that this action eventually leads to him making his choice. But she's telling him the consequences.
We're almost 2 hours in, and we're still in the first movie.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like we don't even want to talk about the sequels.
Sequels are not bad. These are not terrible movies. I quite thoroughly enjoyed them. It's just the first one had a quality that could not be matched. And
exactly.
2 and 3...
We're gonna soldier through though. We're gonna soldier through, but let's skip on ahead real quick because we already got to the point where we actually get one of the names of the agents. We don't really get the rest of the agent's name, but Agent Smith. That's where we finally hear Agent Smith's name when he introduced himself to Morpheus. He basically took it upon himself
to give it.
You funny redneck.
To give himself. He took it upon himself to give himself a name, but it was more of a mockery to anybody who had unplugged, because what is Smith? A common name.
Smith. Agent Smith. He beat his ass, captured him. I was hoping Morpheus was going to kick his ass when I was a kid.
I did too. I saw that. Oh my God, Morpheus, come on and get this guy, because I really thought Morpheus was like the Obi-Wan Kenobi of the Matrix. I thought he's going to easily take this guy down. So when he captures him, I'm like, oh,
of course, you have to have that, because again, they hyped up the agent. So seeing Morpheus be the agent would just really just do a disservice to that hype.
No.
So, yeah, I'm also going to say this too. For a guy who's getting the shit kicked out of him, Morpheus held in there.
Mhm.
Also, another thing, notice too that Morpheus didn't die because usually in these
Yep.
type of movies, more the mentor always
Usually,
dies.
yeah. Usually the mentor figure dies. But what I like is that in this
Bro,
universe, there's
I geared myself for the black man death thing, and I was about to shut that shit down so bad.
and what I love though is that there's another subversion right there. Is that
Mhm.
the mentor doesn't die, the mentor
Wait,
lives.
the black man doesn't die? Is that the subversion?
Mhm.
No, the mentor! Get off of Nick City! No! It's the mentor!
It's just
I love when I throw those curveballs at school.
no, that was subversion of expectation in a good way,
Yes.
not in a
Mhm.
stupid way,
I
not to
mean,
treat the audience like
I'm
we're
pretty sure
idiots.
Sean Connery would have won because he's James Bond originally.
Yes, they did. They wanted Sean Connery, and Sean Connery turned up his nose at it and said no, and went off to do League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Good.
Well, it's because first off, Sean
I love
Connery
the man, but good. I don't think he. I think he would have stood out. He would have stood out in this movie.
yeah.
I'm a firm believer of that. He was like if he had played the part of Morpheus, he would have stood out.
Mhm.
Period.
And
Like,
let me.
like he would have been out of place.
Do you mean that in a good or the bad way?
Bad way. He'd be completely out of place.
Mhm.
Not and it ain't got nothing to do with him being white either.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. I
Like-
agree.
like,
Sean Connery,
I-
Sean Connery's a great actor, but I just can't. I'm sorry, it's Lawrence Fishburne. This
Well,
role
here's the
was
thing. Imagine if Sean Connery did play this movie. I imagine that right now you feel like a bit like Alice, tumbling down the rabbit hole. You could say that. I see it in your eyes. You had the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he's expecting to wake up. Ironically, that's not far from the truth. Do you believe in fate, Neo? You
oh
know,
my god! Please stop! I can't do this. No, please
Now,
stop.
exactly, Red.
please-
Exactly.
Please
Mhm.
end my suffering.
It'll just be Draco at that point.
Yes. So it was good that he did pass on it. I think now I see your point, Wolf.
I'm
It was
like
good
try to reread Morpheus' lines in Sean Connery's voice and spot the difference.
I can't. I can only picture Lawrence Fishburne.
Exactly.
Shit, imagine if he was imagine if he was played by James Earl Jones.
That sounds
man,
as well.
that
I
was
no. See,
What
I
is real?
see
How do you
Lawrence
define?
Fishburne.
Hang on, Schooner. What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electronic signals interpreted by your brain. You think
I'll
that's
never give in. You killed my father.
Mm.
That's
you have to let it
exactly
go, Neo.
You're my son, Simba.
Look, I got one. I got. I got. Look, Neil. Everything the Matrix touches is our kingdom. What about that show you play?
Please, God, stop! No! I can't
oh my god, you guys are kidding.
You're the man now, dog.
It is always and forever Lawrence Fishburne. I can't see anybody else, and when I try to, it actually hurts.
I'm sure James Earl Jones could do a good job, but they'll have to rewrite Morpheus because he ain't gonna do no backflips and shit.
I'm sorry, but James will just hear menace. I would be like Scooney, like you're not my father. That's not true.
I know. I can't see it anymore like that. Or it's like Neo, you must take your place in the great circle of life.
Yeah, definitely with that. But
Or Denzel Washington.
Denzel, well, yeah, that too, because I think about Training Day.
Have you ever had a dream, Neo, that you were so sure it was real? What if you were unable to wake up from that dream? How would you know the difference between the dream and the real world?
I'm King Kong.
Why do my eyes hurt? You ain't never used them before.
And please, Lord, Samuel Jackson. Oh my God.
Oh.
Oh no, Samuel Jackson would go Mace Windu and do it. Here's how it gonna go. I thought it wasn't real. Your mind makes it real. If you killed in the Matrix, you die here. The body cannot live without the mind.
You see, I thought yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You're faster than this. Don't think you are? No, you are. Come on, stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Stop trying to hit me and
I'm
hit
trying
me.
to free your mind, Neo. But I can only no. Let me do this in the Bing Rain voice. I'm trying to free your mind, Neo. But I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.
Oh my God! Yes, you did it. You did it. I could. Oh my God! Big Rain could pull that off.
Or Michael Clark Duncan with this one. The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we're trying to save. Until we do, these people are still part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged, and many of them are so inured, so helpless, hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it.
Now I must kill the man without fear.
Yes.
And now I must kill the man without fear. Or Vincent D'Onofrio. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is.
All right. So,
Okay,
I'm getting off track, damn it.
so getting back on track. When Morpheus is captured, you're like, oh God, and then Neo decides he's gonna go in after him, and you're like, the tensions are high because, oh my God, is he gonna die like the Oracle says? And we get one of the best action sequences in the whole movie. Well,
Let me do it in my D'Onofrio voice again. I'd like to share a revelation that I have during my time here. It came to me when I tried to classify your species, and I realized you're not actually animals. Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to an area and you multiply until every natural resource is consumed. And that the only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There's another organism on this planet that
Oh God.
you know what it is. A virus. Human beings are a disease.
can I also say this
Cancer
too?
on the planet. You're a plague, and we are the cure.
I am going to actually say that I do love that scene with Hugo Weaving because we truly see, while he does not speak for the system, he represents the cold-blooded and downright hateful AI that the Matrix has evolved into.
Now go back.
Yep.
I'm kidding,
Yes.
Eloise.
No, I agree.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say first, real quickly, yes, I am glad that Lawrence Fishburne did not die, and that was a subverting of expectations in a good way, in a way that the audience benefits from it, and it works with the story, because with him being captured, I'm glad he didn't die to get him motivated. I'm glad that he was captured and it got him motivated so that he wouldn't die. That's what I like about this film, whereas in other films, like when Gandalf dies or any other scene, the mentor dies, now they're motivated to do something, but he's doing something before he's dead. I don't want him to be dead, so I've got to step up. I don't know why, but I just know I'm not going to let that man die. So
Yeah. If it's going to be him or me that is going to die, it will be me. It will not be him.
Exactly. Yes.
Exactly.
How about this monologue? Right as we get into the big action scene, which is the hallway fight scene.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? It was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crossword lost. But some believe we lack the programming language to describe your perfect world. But I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through suffering and misery. The perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from, which is why the Matrix was redesigned to this, the peak of your civilization. I say your civilization because as soon as we start thinking for you, it really became our civilization, which is, of course, what this is all about. Evolution, Morpheus. Evolution. Like the dinosaur. Look out that window. You had your time. The future is our world, Morpheus. The future is our time.
And that's another thing that I love about that scene, though, is that that's very much how, like how he whispers in his ear, the devil whispering in our ear, trying to break our constitution to make us, to
Break your
make us,
faith.
yeah, to break your faith, and that's again, Hugo Weaving will always be the devil figure in this movie for me.
Exactly,
And
of
then later
course.
we get monologues about cake and orgasms
Uh,
Oh, God.
to explain cause and effect.
But I think what I love about everything is that despite the fact that he's always trying, because you can see that he's trying to peel back the layers of Morpheus and break his faith. And when he realizes he can't break his faith, what
He even
does,
says up the dosage.
yeah. And what does Agent Smith do? He just decides that's the first time he actually takes off before. That's the time he willingly takes off his glasses. But when the first time we see him, Morpheus knocks his glasses off, and we just see the utter content of hate in his eyes. But no, you think, oh well, he's in the heat of battle, and that's why he has that hate in his eyes. No, Smith always has that hate in his eyes when he removes his glasses and he shows it to Morpheus, and he
Even
says to
worse
him,
when they put that bug in Neo when
"Yeah,
he shut off his mouth. Oh
yeah."
goodness.
He basically says, "I hate
It
you.
is the
I hate
place.
humanity, and because humanity is here, I am trapped. I want
Mhm.
out."
I hate this place, this zoo, this prison, this reality, whatever you want to call it. I can't stand it any longer. It's the smell, if there's such a thing. I feel saturated by it. I can taste your stink every time I do. I fear that I've somehow been infected by it. It's repulsive, isn't it? I must get out of here. I must get free. And this mind is the key, my key. Once Zion's destroyed, there is no need for me to be here. Do you understand? I need the codes. I have to get out. I have to get Zion. You have to tell me how. You're going to tell me, or you're going to die.
And then
Well,
he does it, and that. Go ahead, Leia. Go ahead.
no, I was going to say it's just like you said, Scooney. Smith is the metaphorical devil,
Mm-hmm.
and the devil can be very powerful and seductive in many, many
He
ways.
became Legion in the next movie.
Yes,
But
pretty much.
right,
Pretty much.
but
That's right.
that's the thing. When you break down the devil's tricks and you see what is always at the core of the devil, pure, unadulterated hatred. And
Mhm.
that is all of this smoke and mirrors is all just an utter contempt.
Mhm.
I
And then
don't
we get
want.
that cool scene with the shootout. Can
What were
you?
you going to say, Leia? Hang on. What were you going to
Sorry.
say, Leia?
Oh, I was just going to say, and also the hate for humanity. And what does humanity
Mm-hmm.
have? Free will. And the devil doesn't
Mm-hmm.
want you to have free will. He wants you under his control.
Mhm.
So that is why that hatred is there. I just want to say, but we can move on to. The only thing I'll say about the action scene is, and before we get into it, this movie does a beautiful job building up to it. We've gone through all the exposition. Now let's hit the action, and I love that.
Can you relinquish any metal on you? Keys, loose change. Holy
Boom.
shit! Back up. We need backup. Brrr. Then you get that. Then you get that iconic theme song. Then you get freeze. Boom, 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 boom. And so many movies
Yep.
carry that song to it. It's fucking hilarious how that song
Mm-hmm.
comes up when the Matrix is
And then,
freaking parodied.
and then what's really great is the scene where he, yeah, exactly what you're saying. What's very great at the very
We're
end of
gonna
that
we're gonna
scene.
we're gonna steamroll through this because we're in 2 hours of talking the first movie. Damn it!
Mhm.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like Scooney said. The first one just covers so much. It's like you said. It's not that the sequels were bad. They weren't that great, but they weren't that bad. But this one just encompasses so much. I heard even someone said that maybe the sequels were necessary because everything about the hero's journey was done in one movie. So that's probably
Yeah.
why it's taking us a little longer to do this one because
Mhm.
there's just so much to cover. Whereas the second one is not bad, but it does fall to some mistakes. And I think it's because so much was done in the first one. But please continue so we can, if you'd like to move on to the getting towards the dodging bullets.
Oh
Scene.
man, that was an iconic scene where he,
Yes.
where again, it's proven what the movie's been saying so far. It's a payoff where he
Oh
says,
yeah.
"So, are you trying to tell me that I can dodge bullets?" And he literally dodged bullets.
Yep.
I mean, I
Mhm.
mean, think about it like this. First, the agent dodged bullets because Morpheus explicitly said men have empty entire clips and hit nothing but air, which he did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was a cool scene how they show how the agents dodge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then now it's Neo's turn when he
Mm-hmm.
dodges the bullets. Like you know, you get that cool slow mo scene where he's just like for every bullet that's fired, he's just basically dodging it, and one clips his shoulder. You know,
Yep.
and of course the agent comes up. He said only human, and that's where Trinity utters that iconic
Dodge
line,
this.
"Dodge this."
Dodge this.
Yes. Oh,
Boom.
everybody in the theater loved that. Everybody in the theater just this
I
was
loved it.
everybody just
Everybody
applauded
loved
when
it.
she
Right
everybody
when the gun click and she goes, "Dodge this." Cheers. I was like, "Yeah!"
yes, yeah, it did. It got a large cheer in that theater when she did that. And just the way she said it, she was just right at him. There's just no way he could dodge it.
It's
It
like
was
she
so
like that
cool.
moment, like you see how confident they are to take on the agents at this point.
Mhm.
Now, it's not even the fact that it didn't even come in at the fact that they have Neo on the side. No, she came in at the fact that she has to protect Neo,
And because
Yes,
she was,
yes,
and
and she was
she
fed up
believed.
with his shit at that point.
Uh-huh.
yes.
And I love that. She says, "You'd moved like they moved. I've never seen anybody move that fast." And he goes,
Right.
"I wasn't fast enough. Can you fly that thing?" "Not yet." And he gets a download of how to fly a helicopter.
I'm sick and tired of all this shit.
Wolf is right. At this point in
Yeah.
the movie, she is ready for business.
Mhm.
She is really fed up. She is ready. Well, she tells him when he says he's going after Morpheus, she tells him, "I'm going with you, and I'm the head of this. I'm the commander of this ship, and if you don't mind, you know, I'm going.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
nothing
she
you can
said,
say and
yeah,
do that can
yep,
stop me."
yep. She goes, "I'm going with you." And he goes, "No, you're not." And she goes, "No, I'm going to tell you what I believe. Morpheus means more to me than he does for you. And if you are truly serious about helping him, you are going to need my help. And since I am the ranking officer on this ship, if you don't like it, I believe you can go to hell."
She
But
didn't
see
kick her in
that
the balls with that one. She just
Yep.
basically she grabbed him on the shoulder. She didn't grab him by the balls.
right,
She grabbed,
right.
she grabbed him by that's her verbally grabbing him by the shoulder and said, "Look, we're doing it this way because I am still the leader here.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm
it
the
worked.
well, let me rephrase. I'm the second in command here."
Yeah. And she's letting him know right then and there, if you go in there, I mean, first off, you're stupid to go in there. But if you are serious, I am going to back you up to watch your back because that's what we do.
Well,
Right. You guys are
let
right.
me also point out the fact that he's going in there. He's barely know much of what of how they do things around their ship, and he's about ready to go in there half cocked and all that stuff. It's like, look,
Mhm.
I'm like look, you're still a newbie. Let me come with you. You need somebody experienced with you.
Mhm.
Duh.
Yep.
And she does it in a way that doesn't, like you said, Wolf, she takes him by the shoulders, not chop his balls off, not take his manhood, not downgrade him as the one. She does it in a way that she means business, but it doesn't humiliate him.
Mhm.
If you guys follow me, we get
I'm
what she
following.
means because
Mhm. Oh, I'm following you.
I bought it when she said that. I had no problems with that line, with her saying that. I had
But
no
she
issues
was-
whatsoever.
yeah, she was being the archetype female, like you're saying. She's going for support. And in history, what is, the rib? Again, Christian mythology. Eve comes from the rib cage, the support. She is the
Exactly.
one who will follow him and help him through, because if he is going to rise, he's going to need her to push him forward.
So fast forwarding, they are rescue Morpheus after
Well, wait,
he
wait. One of my favorite lines comes from Hugo Weaving in this scene is when they think there's no way they're going to be able to rescue him. And of course, they come in on the helicopter with that giant minigun, and Hugo
all they
Weaving
can
goes,
say is
"No." I love that bit. He just goes, no. And he's more so like saying like, no, it's like, that's not possible. He's like, oh, you don't have the ball.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you don't have the ball. He, of course, yep, boom, 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 boom.
It's so satisfying to hear a chain gun fire, even though it's the most impractical weapon ever used in movies.
Yes,
This,
yes.
this is outclasses freaking.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
They're
let
desert
me
people.
shut up now because nothing will ever top Arnold Schwarzenegger with that fucking grenade launcher and freaking Terminator.
I know.
This comes damn close. This comes damn close.
Yes, yes, it does. Oh shit,
Very.
dude.
But again, I'm going to say it again. Agent Smith, when he goes no, sounds more like he's saying you don't got the balls to do it.
Or he's like, or he's just like, the fuck are you guys doing?
And and I love it. I love that scene.
But of course, going forward now, we got the iconic duo between Smith and Neo.
Mhm. Yep.
And this is where as we were going along again, this is where Neo is starting to realize what his potential is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like again, where everybody usually runs from these guys, he's actually taking his moment to fight these guys.
Mm-hmm. Not because, and this is another thing too. This is the moment where Neo is making his own personal choice because everybody tells him to run, and in fact, Agent Smith is expecting him to run as well. Be like everybody else, but instead Neo says, "No, you know what? No, not this time. I'm gonna fight," and I love it because Agent Smith's like, "All right, you want to stay and fight with me? We all know how this song and dance goes." And of course, he starts fighting back and he starts winning. And Agent Smith is like,
Well, before that, they try to shoot each other in the head in midair.
yeah, that scene was amazing. That spaghetti western standoff. Boom, shoot, 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 shoot. And they both go fly into each other. That slow motion scene. They hit the ground, both guns to their head, and he condescendingly says to Neo, "You're empty." And he goes, "So are you." And he's like, and he looks at that's like genuine surprise on his face.
He
It's
looks like
like,
he's not John Wick in that scene because John Wick would be sparing his bullets just to get close enough to shoot him in the head.
yeah. But that's the thing throughout this entire sequence. When Agent Smith has, up into the rescue of Morpheus, Agent Smith has always tried to outmaneuver Neo, and it's really showing how Neo is going to ultimately defeat him because he can't even see that his own gun is empty too. He's just staring at Neo and just like saying to him, "Ha ha, you're all out of bullets." But Neo's like, "Yes, so are you." And he suddenly, did you notice that his like condescending grin fades when he does that?
Mm-hmm.
It's
He
like,
looks at his gun, just toss it to the side like it's a stick.
mm-hmm. He throws it to the side and he's like, "All right, well, it doesn't matter. I'm about to kick the shit out of him." And Neo actually breaks his glasses and gets under his skin. He goes, "I'm going to enjoy watching you die, Mr. Anderson."
Mm-hmm. That means like mess with the glasses, you got
Yep.
to die.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second time somebody broke my damn glasses. I'm getting sick and tired of this shit.
Yep. And that's always like what I love about that fight scene. It's like there's this, you just feel the hatred in Agent Smith, whereas with Neo, you see how he's trying to calm and collect himself. And I love it.
Of course,
And-
there's a moment
then
where he turns the tide a bit.
Yep, he does turn the tide of the fight, and that's when Agent Smith decides to say, "All right, I'm done playing with my food. I'm now going to end you." And he holds him in front of a train, and he says, "Goodbye, Mr. Anderson." And he goes,
Do you hear the sound of that, Mr. Anderson? It's the
That
sound,
is the sound of
inevitability. It's the sound of...
Had enough yet?
No.
I'm ready when you are.
But again, what you were saying, yeah, it's like the sound of your death, "Goodbye, Mr. And he just says goodbye to him. But what does Neo say? He says, "No, I'm not going to be done like this.
Neo.
My name is Neo." And then he gets hit. And then I love the bit. He gets hit by the train, and then the train stops. And who's the first to come out of the train? Agent Smith. I just love that gag. I love that
You
gag.
almost forgot that he could duplicate. He could just
Yeah,
possess
you're
another
like,
person.
ah, shit. Yeah, you're like going, ah, shit, I forgot they do that.
Yeah.
He just start. Then they're like, oh, now you start running. Now you start running.
Mm-hmm. And now he starts making a break for it, and then they get a chase scene going on. It's a
Oh
very
god,
fun.
another cat and mouse one, but a very intense one. Very intense.
And that's the thing. In the beginning of the movie, you weren't quite sure what the stakes were in this cat and mouse game, but now you're revisiting it again at the end of the movie, and now you're like, oh my god, this is exactly what Trinity felt. Go, Neo, run, get to the phone.
Dude, at that point, I'm still a kid again. I'm still a kid, and I thought there were more than 3 agents chasing after him. I thought there were 6 of them chasing after him. When they do that bird's eye view shot where they're running after him, I was like, wait, 6 of them run? Oh shit!
I still love that scene though.
I was comfortably naive. That was only 3, but it would have been scary if it was 6 of them.
But remember that scene where he's running, and that's you suddenly realize why are they all because you notice in this Matrix movie, why are they always avoiding these public places or moving in back alleys or driving in cars that nobody can see inside? Because then Neo runs. Because now you see why. Because Neo runs into the public place, and he's like, ah, shit. And he's just pop it up, and are trying to shoot him.
Wait to try to throw a butcher knife at his ass. That was hilarious.
Oh my god, the butcher knife! Good God! Oh, but I love the scene where Tank says to him on the phone. He says, "Door on your left. No, your other left.
Bitch,
no,
be specific."
All right.
That's all I would say if I was running. Like, bitch, be specific.
I also love the scene where he's like, where he's running from the subway and he steals the guy's cell phone, and the guy just goes, "Holy shit, that's my phone! That guy took my phone!" And if you watch the scene closely, when he yells, "That guy took my phone," he's already dressed up as the agent. That's some good old-fashioned camera trickery. The guy's already, yeah. But I love it. He goes, "That guy took my phone," and then he morphs into the agent. And I just love that.
He's yelling out like somebody gonna actually chase after his ass to get his phone back.
I know. It's like, did anybody
kill me about that? Like, hey, he took my phone. That guy took my phone. Hey, bitch, what the fuck you want me to do? He's already running.
Oh, I love that.
This ain't no white chicks where I'm gonna chase after a Versace purse or some shit.
It's like, that guy took my phone.
Yo, he stole that guy's pizza. What the fuck you want me to do about it? He's swinging in the air.
Yeah, that's exactly. He goes, "Hey,
go home, Ashley, Larry. Nobody likes you anyways."
Exactly. It's like saying, exactly. Spider-Man just stole that guy's pizzas, and why are you telling me? What, you expect me to go over there after him? Oh yes, let me shoot my invisible web slingers.
Let me go throw a tracker on his ass. Yeah, he's already like building high as if the tracker's gonna latch on his ass, much less stay on his ass. I mean, he's gonna scratch it off. You know us guys, we discussing like that, but damn it, like seriously, you really want me to go after Spider-Man? Get some guy's pizza.
Yeah, really. I love it how he's running, and you honestly think he's gonna make it, but then you suddenly realize, wait, where's Smith? Because at some point during the chase, Smith actually stops and looks somewhere and realizes, wait, where did Smith go? And Smith realizes, wait a minute, I know exactly where they're going, because at the beginning of the movie, I chased Trinity away from that power line. So they reactivated it. But instead, he doesn't cut the hard line, because he knows that if they cut the hard line, they'd have to reroute him. So instead, he's sitting there waiting. And what I love is he opens the door, there's Smith standing there, and he shoots them. And there's no music. But you hear...
He literally went where Trinity was in the beginning of the movie. I think Drinker had brought that up in his stream.
And what's cool is there's no music, but instead you're just hearing the sound of the gun and the ringing of the phone. It's literally within arm's reach, but Agent Smith is in his way.
And
When that
he unloads a clip into his ass.
Mm-hmm.
yeah
The contempt,
that
man, the contempt.
Mm-hmm. That was.
Oh.
I mean, Neo was already dead. He shot him through the heart. He was dead. And then he shoots him again. And then, like you said, he shoots him on repeat. That is not just a simple execution. That is.
And pop him in his head afterwards.
Yeah. No, he wanted him to suffer. So he's shooting him.
Pain for the head.
But no, you see what that was. Agent Smith was hatred, like you said. It was anger. It was hatred. It was aggression.
How very human are you, Smith?
Like Scooby said, he wanted him to suffer, and the man that was in front of me in the theater, and he let out a yell, "Damn!"
I'm pretty sure my mom had uttered that too one time.
That's exactly
I didn't. Oh no, the hero can't die. This cannot be the ending. I'm literally like the woman at the beginning. Not like this. I was like, oh no, because the way it was, like Scooter said, it was quiet. You just hear the gun. I'm like, oh no, this can't be it. That's what I did. Oh no.
That's what I love
about those bullets in my chest. As visceral as that sounds, I like every time I saw him just shooting Neo in that chest, pain was just all over my chest. I felt every bullet of that. That's how visceral that was.
Yes, and it was all again quiet in the theater.
But what I love about that scene, sorry, Leia, I'll get back to you in a second. What I love about that scene is just like the Matrix, it tries to put you into a false reality. Neo has been shot, he is dead, and that is what the movie's trying to say is, putting a false reality over your eyes.
They're dead, John.
Yep. Just like at the beginning of the movie, the very first shot, if you see the way he's lying down, that's exactly the way Neo was when he was sleeping at the beginning of the movie. And and it was Morpheus who told him to say, "Wake up, Neo." But in this one, Neo is deciding to wake up. It's like, no, I am not.
Because of the power of penis and pussy.
I know. Train kissing him, and then that
he got revived. He got revived by a church of pussy. Pussy is everywhere. Pussy is the lifeblood. Pussy is enemy, father. Pussy.
Come to America, I know.
No, that's not Boomerang either. I'm quoting Sons of Anarchy.
Okay, if you want to believe in that, yes, but more so, I believe that again, it was.
Fucking Thor ripped that shit off too.
It was the feminine telling the masculine that he makes a choice. Always, it's your choice.
You can say whatever you want. I'm still mad at the fact that Thor ripped that shit off, and I'm still pissed off at the fact that that's how he learned humility.
Yeah.
Like I said, in my rewrite, when he says Earth is my home, that's where he's supposed to got the damn powers, and then he can mac on that bitch.
But again,
get your powers first, and then mac on the bitch after you destroy the damn machine. That's all you need. That's all you need to do, writers. Shit, why you gotta rip out the Matrix, bitch?
But
yeah,
I'll never appreciate that shit. That's the reason why I don't own that fucking copy. Because that shit pissed me off.
It's basically Neo from the first movie.
The first movie. Like I was cool with the movie up until that point. I was like, "Yep, I'm not fucking owning this shit. This shit pissed me off with that."
Yeah,
like, this is fucking Thor learning humility through a fucking kiss.
In the
it should happen. I'm sorry, Leia. It should have happened when he said, "Earth is my home now."
Mm-hmm.
Then he can kiss the bitch. You get your power dick up, and then you kiss the bitch.
Well, the way you say it is just poetic. It's like
yes.
You get your superpower erection, and then you kiss your bride.
Nelly.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Her women power.
Like Captain America got the suit on and kissed his bride.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man got his suit, saved his bitch from a fire explosion, and then he kissed her in the suit.
No,
That's
wait.
how it's supposed to work.
Kiss in the first movie. They kissed in the second one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't kiss the bitch he didn't kiss the bitch in the first movie, but what I'm saying is he had the suit on, he got his power back, and then he kissed his bitch. Captain America didn't need that. He already had the suit. He cool, but he still kissed his bitch. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is
Yes.
Thor should have had that moment in his first fucking movie. Get your power erection first, and then kiss your bitch.
Exactly. I agree. I agree.
Regardless, he wakes up and he's able to kill Agent Smith by stopping the bullets, and I love that bit.
Oh man, magical moment there.
Yep.
Everybody
Right when,
applauded on that moment.
but I love that
On
scene
that
though,
moment.
is because the agents are looking at him, raise their guns, and what's the first thing Neo says? He goes, "No," and he just stops the bullets.
I
I
love
like that
that.
end scene after he jumped in Smith and blew him from the inside out. He freaking bend the freaking hallway.
Yep.
Yeah, he was seeing it.
He
And
even
also I want to say,
confirm what. Sorry, Leia. He even confirmed what
no, go
Morpheus
ahead.
has told him. When you're ready, you don't need to. That man freaking stopped the damn bullets. Freaking block fist with one hand at this point. He's freaking Bruce Lee at this point. I'm just like,
Yes, yes, yeah.
power erection activate.
Yep.
They became, and in his
Hey, Matthew, by the way.
cohorts. Blind Jesus. Smith and his cohorts were now getting scared because now they know he has
How very human of them.
now he has the power, and like you said, even moving the matrix that they were confined in. He was now now they're ready to run basically because now
Before
they
we
he
start
become
powering through the sequels real quick, let's talk about the Sentinels. We didn't even get a chance to talk about the Sentinels. Like the agents were dangerous, but damn it, the Sentinels in the real world, oh hell no.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And how scary to introduce them in freaking open space.
Yep.
Like the moment when they like right when they did the training thing, right, when he failed to jump, it's like he gets a call, like Morpheus gets a call, he says Sentinels, and you get to see the real ship in flight, and they latch onto something, and of course it's like they shut off everything and get the EMP ready, right, and and throughout this whole sequence they're whispering.
Yep.
Yeah, they
Like
are.
that's how scary the Sentinels are. That you have to whisper in your own motherfucking ship.
But I think what I found even more interesting too is how the agents, the way they talk, it's almost how dismissive they are of Sentinels. They like, oh, Sentinels are just mindless machines, like a demon horde.
Yes. They dismiss them, but the Morpheus his crew know how deadly they can be. It's very interesting, like you said.
I mean, the first one just sails across the screen, and then you get the second one that pulls out the radar arm. I was like, oh goodness! And when he didn't sense something, he just swim away. Figuratively. They're literally squids with multiple eyes.
But they're robots.
Exactly. Like even before we even saw the Sentinels, we saw that one thing that released them from the pod, and even then that thing looked creepy.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And let's not forget those spider bots that were on the crowd.
Yeah, those spider-like things.
Like they're machines, but they're constructing themselves to look like mammals and crustaceans and insects too. Yes, but there's a word for the octopi.
Cephalopods.
Thank you, Fizz. Cephalopods. That's so and crazy how Schooner mentioned Geiger. That's some fucking Geiger shit. That motherfucker ejaculated off of that damn fucking environment.
Can I also just
they
say
had no trains in that motherfucker because that motherfucker loved his trains.
Because what's even crazy though, what's freaky is that later on in the movie, while Neo is fighting Agent Smith and running from the agents, they suddenly get an alert, and then the Sentinels when Morpheus says, "Here they come," the way they fly in like locusts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cutting through
And
that ship
like
too.
yeah, like insects, like the way they just land right on it and then just start cutting into it like a
Okay,
parasite.
another fun fact of childhood me. I thought that thing was the final boss. I thought they were gonna fight that thing out
Mhm.
in somewhere, some other location, and it
Really?
was yeah. I literally thought that was a big boss that they had to fight.
Hmm.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. You thought that, yeah, that
Because
it was
once
a,
again, you only going by clips that they show in the commercials, the trailer, what have you. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, is that a big boss they're gonna fight? Like they're fighting, like they lay out the announcer of the trailer or the commercials literally laid out the humans versus machines, and I'm like, okay, so we're literally gonna fight literal machines at the end of this movie.
you're
Is that
thinking
what you're telling me?
somewhere that there's a mother sentinel somewhere in a nest somewhere that they have to deal with, like Ripley in Aliens when
Like
she
I
had
thought
to
the
face the
machines were
mother.
literally in, like the Matrix was somewhere else, and we were literally fighting these things in our world. And you got these other people like the agents. They showed a shot of him, the pilot transforming to the agent. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. That's
Yes,
how my
Uh,
child brain worked at the time.
yeah.
no, that's a. I thought that
Mm.
the sentinel like a mother somewhere, the alien sees other alien hatching all those eggs. So we thought, a lot of us thought there was a mother sentinel somewhere. That's why I thought maybe the third one was going to be, the sequels were going to be that somewhere there was a mother sentinel in a nest, and creating these, or a master mold like the X-Men, creating these sentinels to go out and destroy the humans. So
Hmm.
I kind of thought about that myself. That's what I thought, maybe when they announced there were going to be
No, he's
sequels,
got a baby
that would
face
be
in the
something.
third one.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't need you. We need nothing.
so, and that was another thing too, is that I always felt that because the agents were so uniform and hive-minded, so too were the Sentinels. The Sentinels were just the agents of that world.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours in. Do we have any more steam to talk about the sequels?
No, just okay. I'll just say it like this: you didn't need the sequels. The
I
action was
agree.
the action was amazing. I loved watching the action scenes, but as far as story and necessity, no. Because
uh, uh,
because by the end of the first movie, what I thought was great about Neo's power is that the Matrix is rendered immutable. They can't stop him. I mean, he at the end of the movie, he stops the agents from tracking him. He basically just interrupts their little tracking system and says, "I know you're out there, and I
I can
know
feel
you're
you
listening."
now. I know that you're
Mm-hmm.
afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see them. Shit.
I'm going to show them a world.
mm,
He says,
A
"I'm
world
going to show
without you.
you a world
A world
without you."
without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
And that's again.
Come on. Freaking freaking
That music was
But
Rage
I'm
Against
just
cool.
saying.
freaking Rage
Exactly.
Against Machines before they sold out.
The movie ends just so perfectly. The ending is, I mean, they told the hero's journey, and now the ending is whatever we want it to be.
So let's touch briefly on the sequel.
now the thing that will give the sequels mostly is the opening of the second movie, which had Mr. Smith come back to life because of a glitch in the Matrix, and he walks through a crowd of crows. What the heck? And now he turning people into cloning people, and he turning other people into himself.
He's absorbing them basically. He's a virus essentially.
No, he's basically the thing now from the John Carpenter.
Negro's
And-
the same thing. He's absorbing people.
Like I said, he's a virus. But again, what you're saying, Fizz, is like at the end of the
My
movie.
name is Legion, for I am many. Mr.
But at the beginning of the movie, it already like. This is why I don't like the sequels so much. The
Starts
sequel
off on a
movie.
bang.
The first, the second movie just undoes everything the first movie did, and that's one
Mr.
thing.
Alive again. Like what the
Yeah.
what the hell? Like
Well,
couldn't he?
not only that, they say it's happening exactly like it had before, and Agent Smith goes, "Well, not exactly as it happened before." So it's like,
I
then,
killed you, Mr. Anderson. I watched you die with a certain satisfaction, I might add. And something happened. Something I knew wasn't possible, but it happened anyway. You destroyed me, Mr. Anderson. After that, I understood the rules. I knew what I was supposed to do, but I didn't. I couldn't. I was compelled to stay, compelled to disobey. And now, here I stand because of you, Mr. Anderson. Because of you, I'm no longer into the system. Because of you, I've changed. I'm unplugged. A new man, so to speak. Like you, apparently free. Congratulations. Thank you. But as you well know, appearances can be deceiving, which brings me to the reason why we're here. We're not here because we're free, we're here because we're not free. There's no escaping reason, no denying purpose, because we both know what purpose, without purpose, we would not exist. It is purpose that created us, purpose that connected us, purpose that pulls us, that guides us, that drives us. It's purpose that defies us. Purpose that binds us. We are here because of you, Mr. Anderson. We are here to take from you what you tried to take from us. Purpose. You are aimless, motherfucker. That's what you is. Purpose my ass.
well, exactly. I mean, that's the whole point. He's the count. He's the anti-life, the counter life.
Well, if I could say briefly, I don't have much to say on the sequels. I'll be very brief, except I agree with Scooney. I felt the sequels, they did have some great moments, but I felt it was
Motherfucking Morpheus doing a damn Lord of Rings speech.
Yeah.
The second half of the
Yeah,
damn
the
movie.
second the
Zion, hear me. It's true what man you have heard. The machines have gathered an army as I speak. That army is drawing near to our home. Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us, but Negro, are you Malcolm X?
No.
I truly believe the Wachowskis only wanted to make one movie. I think again, this is why sequels don't do well. I truly believe the studio wanted more, and I think the Wachowskis said
How the hell
everything.
Link know about Superman?
Yeah, you're right. He says
Yes.
he's doing his Superman thing.
Yeah.
And that was the worst offender right there. They replaced Tank with Link, who he took some time to get used to, but I preferred Tank. Tank was serious.
Well, here's the thing: the actor.
We know the trepidations of what happened.
Yeah.
What happened, Scooney?
Explain.
The actor had a massive falling out. I mean, it was like bad blood.
Mm-hmm. He had a Terrence Howard moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had
Gotcha.
Without the diva.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gotcha. And then
He got
Warner
Black
Brothers.
Panther on him. He was the Black Panther in the Black Panther movie, not the Black Panther movie, a Black Panther's movie.
Yeah. Well, he got the short end of the stick because that's it. His career didn't much after.
We didn't see much of him afterwards.
Hence
I
the
hope he's
lesson
doing
about
poetry.
At least about greed, boys and girls. Greed is not all.
Black dude from Fifth Element was in Girlfriends for a few seasons, 1 or 2 seasons, I think.
Girlfriends. What the hell is that show?
Oh God! it's a black Sex in the City.
You don't know Girlfriends?
Yes, the black Sex in the City is what I call it. The black
Much
Sex in
better
the City.
City.
No, I wouldn't know anyway. That's 2002.
No, the show wasn't meant for you anyway, Fizz. It was a ladies' show. It was that time period.
You talking about not meant for him? I watched that show religiously.
Well, good. I'm glad to see that. But the writers designed
after
that
one-on-one, Hughley's, Parkers, they was all lined up on UPN. You had the conga line, Hughley's, Parkers, 101, then Girlfriends, and then you got Half and Half later on. We could talk all day about this for another stream. Trust me.
I believe you.
But we big on time. I don't want Schooner to fall asleep on us like Brian be doing.
I'll just say real quick. Well, Scooney pretty much summed it up for me. I felt that the sequel, even though it had some nice action shots, just wasn't needed. I think Scooney was right. Everything they told the hero's journey in one movie, and that's why the first Matrix is a classic.
So
they took up like sequels in film. So by the time we got to the second one, I think the Wachowskis were like, "Oh wow, we got to do something."
The missed opportunity for this one.
Okay.
Because this was a Helm's Deep setup mostly, but we were hunkered down with the concept of programs existing within the Matrix, doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. Like the concept of programs are going rogue, much like the Oracle.
But don't you?
And we boiled it down to, hang on, Leia. We boiled it down to cake and orgasm.
Yeah.
And basically, now I'm being a hypocrite here. Last Jedi ripped off this plan too.
Yep.
Finding the key maker. Only this time they actually found the key maker.
And then the key maker turned on in Last Jedi. But
yeah, the key maker in this one did.
To subvert your expectations, even though the story is written terribly anyway.
Okay,
but
I'm actually
we're not gonna dredge up that.
I'm actually gonna say this. Really, the only sequel I acknowledge that could actually be a legit sequel to the original Matrix movie is the Animatrix, because what they were doing, because they were telling stories within that universe. It's clear that the Matrix is the end of this story.
That's
so
my collection in a nutshell right now. The first Matrix, and hopefully when I can acquire it, the Animatrix.
Yeah.
Because I'll be content with just those two movies only. I don't have them below it, nor do I have Revolutions. But no, the missed opportunity was again programs operating, which by the time we get to the end of this stream, I'm gonna tell you my rewrite of the sequels.
Ooh, this is gonna be fun.
I already told Fizz and Leia, but it bears repeating for you, Schooner, for your ears. So yeah, that was one missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And the concept of fate, which was also a squandered opportunity, or the fact that Neo's so powerful that nothing really can touch him. Damn it, a sword can't even cut through his hand. I mean, it can scar it, but it can't cut through it. Or the fact that a lot of people, and I definitely agree with the sentiment that soon as Neo became the one, he became less relatable. I hate to use that word, or at least he became less human. And it didn't help the fact that Keanu was in his monotone phase in his acting career.
Exactly.
Stare blankly. His mode of acting throughout that year was stare blankly at the screen and talk.
Okay, I'm going to say this too. When the Matrix came out, it was right around the time when the internet was also making it huge. Before the internet loved Keanu Reeves, they scorned him. Before the internet loved him.
I'm surprised he soldiered through acting with all that hate. Because he was Neo through most of these movies, except for Street Kings. Street Kings, he actually attempted to be his speed self.
Yeah. It was really John Wick. I'm going to say it. It was John Wick.
I know.
Yes,
John Wick. That's mostly when you talk about him, regards to Keanu Reeves.
He basically became the Chris Pratt after John Wick.
And I think that was the thing. That was the thing. He hit it big with the Matrix, and he saw how quickly everybody can turn on you just as quickly. So when he got big again with John Wick, he decided to humble himself. And by humbling himself, he made himself a legend.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. One of the
worship at the Church of Woe.
That's the remains of Ted Salone.
Everybody cracks up the way he says "whoa." everybody just loves it when he said it in the film. Everybody just cracks up when he says that. The thing about Keanu Reeves, if briefly, is first of all, before the Matrix, he was Bill and Ted. It was Bill and Ted for a long time. Then Speed came around, and he was an action star in a good film. And then he had
let's not speak of his role in Dracula.
I was that will.
Ooh, yeah.
Dracula was like,
am I the minority that don't really mind his bad British acting?
No, I don't mind at all. I don't. I really is like.
I mean, he's the worst offender considering that a lot of actors who play other accents are terrible at it too. Like, say Leonidas speaking his Scottish accent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to harp on Gerard Butler on that, but like, damn, like Keanu is the worst. Really, he's the worst offender.
No, you're right. And Winona's wasn't that great in the movie either. Winona's was not that great.
She didn't even try. Keanu tried. The bitch didn't even try. Just like ScarJo with the Russian accent.
Yeah.
And the bitch Russian. How you gonna fuck that up?
She didn't even try to speak Russian. I agree with you. She didn't even try to put an effort to try to sound Russian or a Russian person.
Freaking Renola was Leah throughout that damn movie, trying to play dramatic. I like Leah Deetz, but damn it, I want to see her everywhere. Renola, I'm glad that she kind of she's not really that talked about that much after Stranger Things, but like she made a comeback through Stranger Things, and let's not speak of Kelvin Star Trek, where her only role there was to die.
I never was a big fan of hers. I've seen her. I never was a big fan of hers. I never really got. But hey, it doesn't mean a person can act. It's just me personally. I've never really been entertained by her acting. I just haven't. That's just me. I always felt she was a little bit overhyped, and I was right because once she started to get older, the roles started drying up, and I said, I don't think
her biggest flaw was Girl Interrupted. Last I checked.
Well, she got out acted by Angelina Jolie. Everybody who came out that movie talking about Angelina Jolie and not her, and I think it's she thought it was going to be about her because she was the one that pushed hard to make
and her being in Alien Resurrection was hilarious.
Yes, that
again another actress that ran circles around her ass, and damn it. Nothing of the hot lesbian sexual tension in that movie. Jeez.
I ain't watched well with that. Who you talking about?
Alien Resurrection, dude. Sigourney Weaver. The
fourth
Alien movie.
Yeah, fourth Alien movie. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Bitch responded by touching the bitch on the cheeks and stuff like she ready to kiss her.
I know.
And she on her knees.
Uh-huh.
Ass on display too, mind you. Good shot there, whoever shot that shot, but like damn. I mean, there was a rumor that freaking Sigourney Weaver wanted to fuck an alien in one of the Alien 3.
Oh no.
Now she wanted to fuck with another wire in this movie. I'm like, Jesus. Priorities, Sigourney, priorities. Damn.
I'm just gonna say,
I mean, damn, she dominated freaking Electra and Defenders and shit. Like, okay, you on that kick again, girl? Calm down. Calm down.
I'm just gonna say though that the two best movies I saw Winona Ryder in were Beetlejuice and
Edward Scissorhands.
Well, yeah, Edward Scissorhands. Oh, also Heathers. She was amazing in Heathers.
Oh, that's 3 then.
Yeah.
So you guys ready to move on to Matrix Revolutions?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what can we say about Reloaded other than it was just mostly the action sequel?
Yeah, it was the action sequel.
Remember they had the two twins, and he went.
Oh yeah, another
tangible.
That's what I mean by missed opportunity when it comes to programs.
Yeah, the two twins
fighting programs. Yeah, they turn tangible. They're the ghosts of the Matrix.
Yeah, I even liked the Merovingian, this like Don or head honcho of rogue programs. That's pretty cool.
Oh god, don't even remind me of the architect, Colonel Sanders. Anyone?
Oh my god, yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna say. Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. I cannot take you seriously.
Negro, you can't. It's not up to you to monologue. It's up to Smith.
Yeah, and I am just saying, I'm sorry, no. Thank you, Wolf, for saying that, because I'm not the only one who got that vibe. I'm like, you're telling me the creator of the Matrix is Colonel
One is now to
Sanders?
return
I
to
know,
service,
that's funny
allowing
as
a
hell.
temporary
Yeah.
look, look,
Now
get
I'm
this. We came from I hate living here too. The function of the one is now to return to the source, allowing a temporary dissemination of the code you carry,
Oh,
reinstating the prime program. After which you, my voice already cracking already. This shit is freaking annoying me.
I know. I
You'll be
know.
required to select from the matrix 23 individuals, 16 female, 7 male to rebuild Zion. Failure to comply with this process will result in a cataclysmic system crash killing everyone connected to the matrix, which coupled with the extermination of Zion will ultimately result in the extinction of the entire human race. What the fuck do you care about?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're your energy source, but you don't sound like you concerned.
Well, and that's the thing. And that's the thing. He says, you won't let that happen. You need humans to survive. And he says, there are alternatives we are prepared to take. And I'm like, wait a minute. Where was this?
Why haven't you done it?
No,
But
I
yeah,
know.
Let them go.
I know.
Yeah, why? I mean, what? No.
You see, there's only one constant, one universal. It's the only real truth. Causality. Action, reaction. Cause and effect. I want more of you, motherfucker. Why ain't you sitting in that seat?
Well, and the thing
You
that's
sitting here
killing
talking about
me
cake and
is-
orgasm. You should be sitting in that seat, Merovingian.
This is the scene that I hate more than anything, too, because the first movie was all about free will, but the second movie is all saying there is no free will.
There's a system. There
There is only a system.
choice is illusion created between those with power and those without. I love French. Why? I like the French language. I have sampled every language. French is my favorite. Fantastic language, especially to cuss with. Monday, that he's saying something in French. I can't say it properly. It's like
That's
wiping your ass with silk. I love it.
Nothing.
But that's why the sequels are disappointing, because I feel like that plot of the second one destroys everything the
We're
first
not
one
going
set up.
to we're not going to de-dignify this by calling it the Last Jedi or the Matrix. Fuck that noise. This is just
No, I'm
your
not.
stereotypical bad sequel versus all right third sequel. This is Star Wars prequels writing. Let's call it what it is.
Yes, it is. Because again, I think that the Wachowskis
My
didn't have
God,
anything to say beyond.
betrayed me. No, I'm not. Excuse me for butchering the French language intentionally. Causing the
But I love it.
cause. There's no cause for this. What cause? What cause? How about the lipstick you're wearing? Lipstick. What kisses are you talking about, woman? There's no lipstick. She wasn't kissing your face, my love. Burn, Persephone.
Yep.
And played by Monica Bellucci,
Yep.
of all people. Sheesh. She told.
No, yeah.
I can't believe retrieving the keymaker results in a kiss.
Yeah.
This is dungeon crawling 101 where you fuck up at. A kiss?
Yeah.
Well, I do like Trinity's reaction to it, though. That was classic. I loved
the
how
bitch you got back with him in the third movie.
Here's the thing. I had to go outside the movie to discover why she asked for the kiss, because to me it still didn't make sense. Evidently, Monica Bellucci's character is apparently program is supposed to be a succubus, and she can
Persephone
retain.
from the Greek mythology, as the Merovingian is supposed to be Hades. Which I
Yeah.
ain't get no Hades vibe out of his ass. I just got a French businessman.
You know
Yeah.
what? I like that one more. I like the Persephone idea. So instead, Persephone could only gleam what a person's surface level feelings were. Ergo, she can't, because she doesn't have emotion.
Neo, he ain't got no damn feelings. Why couldn't she take Morpheus? He the one who pined over freaking Niobe. Oh, ironic. Freaking Will Smith wife playing, but we didn't get Will Smith in here.
Actually, you know what?
Just before he got married. I know.
Actually, okay, I'm going to say this. Now that you actually say that, why wasn't it Morpheus? It would have made more sense, narratively speaking.
It should have been
Yes.
Morpheus show.
Narratively speaking, it would have made more sense with Morpheus, because Trinity and Neo are already in that place right now. So, but Morpheus and Niobe are denying their feelings for each other. So that would make perfect sense why she would want that feeling. that
Yeah, we
strong.
already know the bitch is in love with Neil, and the motherfucker in love with her.
Yeah, exactly.
We
So
don't
it
need no
should have
affirmation of that shit.
no. So
The
Morpheus
bitch
should have been the
jumped on
one.
his ass in the damn elevator in the beginning of this damn movie.
Yep.
Smother him in his face, and I'm like, y'all couldn't wait till y'all get home. The door open, you got all these people worshiping Neo. Like, damn, is this a joke where they can't find a way to fuck? They got home. We see it in the damn rave scene. They're fucking in their home. Like, why we need this?
Wait, did they seriously just cock block the Messiah?
For real, Neo, watch over my son as you do for others. And then there's a kid, which
There's always a kid.
no, the kid. This movie was introducing some stuff that just did not fit.
Yes,
I think at this point it was like they were trying to fit so much in. It's like I get it, it's the sequel, so you got to do, got to explore new things. But
good thing he's not played by Shia LaBeouf.
It's just hitting all of the old beats, but on a bigger. It's a sequel, so it's got to be bigger. It's got to be bigger.
It could be bigger, but studios make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you see, Scooney, the thing is, again, the problem was, I really do believe, and I think it's been brought out already, the Wachowskis really didn't have a story beyond the first one. All they wanted to do was a part one. This is movie. I think it was Warner Brothers that said, we want a sequel. Give us a sequel. And when we do the sequel, just do everything you did in the first one 2 times bigger than it was. More martial arts, more action. Do all of that because that's what people really want to see. But the problem was, and I think that's why we spent more time on the first one. The first one was all 3 of these movies in one movie. That's why no sequel was needed. Everything you see in 2 and 3 was done in the first one. So the third ones were disappointing to me because the second one just destroys everything. This one, it's like saying Neo failed from the first one. And that's why if you're going to have a sequel like this first one should have shown him failing.
Upon that last line he delivered at the end. They really did not.
You know what?
Yeah, that's what they failed at.
And if there was ever to be a remake of The Matrix, God help us.
Oh.
God help us.
But we are getting a damn game out of it after how many years? 20 years? 30 years?
Like what Leia said, the first Matrix movie could have incorporated all of this, but then, you got one big, massive series. Maybe a TV.
She stumbled upon a solution whereby nearly 99% of the test subjects that set the program provided they were given a choice. Even if they were only aware of it at a near unconscious level. While this solution worked, it was fundamentally flawed. Fuck off with that shit. No wonder they parodied your ass in the movie awards.
Yes, all the bad parodies. Yeah,
he had that stone. He had that poker face.
The best parody I ever saw was in Scary Movie 3, and George Carlin was playing him.
Oh God. Moving on, we're going to revolutions here.
Look, I'm going to say it again. The third movie had great action sequences, but it was clear. I mean, because the third movie bombed.
It did.
The third movie should have been a second movie.
Yeah. It bombed badly, and I think it didn't deserve a lot of the hate that it got, because the third movie was very straightforward in its plot. And that was the hilarious thing, is that they said it didn't have any of those deep philosophical things. And I'm like, what else could you have thrown? You threw everything.
Too heavily on that.
Yeah.
Far too heavily.
Now the third movie's actually following through with what was set up in the second movie. Because that was the problem with the second movie. It all just seemed like one big setup, and then it ends.
What you say? What? What you say? What?
Exactly. You're like, it's all setting up and building to something. Oh, we're just building to the third movie. And the third movie. Yeah, go ahead.
Of course, we're reminded of how the original actress had passed away and got replaced by a new actress, which kudos to them of how they wrote around that.
I'm going to actually say that too. This movie had the balls to do that. The third movie doesn't just ignore the passing of a character. It tackles it straightforward.
Got anything
Once
for that Iron Man 2?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Why are you
It's
so
kind of.
dark skinned now?
I know they never explain how the hell Don Cheadle replaced what's his name?
Terrence Howard.
Terrence
Terrence
Howard. Terrence
Howard.
Howard.
Yeah, yeah.
You heard the
Ain't
story
shit.
about Icarus? I flew too close and I got cooked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like because they only look remotely alike at all.
No,
Wait,
they
No.
do
I've
not.
seen
No.
this. I stand here, right here, and I'm supposed to say
Not even
this.
close.
I say everything that has a beginning has an end, Neil. What did I just say?
You know, I didn't rush out to see the third one. The third one I actually saw on cable television because I'm going to be honest, in the trailer, it just did not have anything to offer. And then I heard
I
some
was
of the
hyped
reviews.
actually.
Were
I think
you?
around
I
that
was.
time,
Yeah.
I will say this.
Go
I think
ahead.
around that time I was still in my teens, and I
Mm-hmm.
actually did like Matrix Reloaded for
Yep.
some
Yep.
time.
I'm with you there, Wolf. I was there with you too.
We're coming at a
Right
time where we
there.
did like that sequel.
Yep.
Make no mistake about it, we did like the sequel at the time, and seeing the war on Zion got me hyped.
Yeah. And by the time we get to the third movie, you're like, I enjoyed it for a conclusion. And then as time passes, though, you just realize that the first movie was just, like Leia says, it was something special. It got something, it got it right. You didn't need the second or the third. The first movie said it all.
Yeah, the first movie, I agree with you. Scooney. The first movie said it all, and the first movie told the sequels. That's what makes the Matrix a classic, because it was able to do three sequels in one movie, which is
Yep.
why the second one and the third one were needed. The second one, I didn't hate the second one because I love the freeway chase. I love that freeway chase. That was rocking when all of them were on the
Mhm.
freeway. But other than that, I felt like it just missed something. Because to me, it's saying Neo failed in the first one, and I didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't.
I
Why,
did
That's
not
Mr.
like. I
Anderson?
didn't like. I did
Why?
not like that.
Why? Why do you do it? Why get up? Why keep fighting? Why do you believe you're fighting for something, for more than your survival? Can you tell me what it is? Do you even know? Is it freedom or truth? Perhaps peace? Could it be for love? Illusions, Mr. Anderson. Vagaries of perception. Temporary constructs of a feeble human intellect trying to desperately justify an existence that's without meaning or purpose. And all of them is as artificial as the matrix itself, although only a human mind can envision something as insipid as love. You must be able to see it, Mr. Anderson. You must know it by now. You can't win. It's pointless to keep fighting. Why, Mr. Anderson? Why do you persist? Because I choose to. Inspiring words there, Mr. Anderson. I mean,
Okay.
I'd
Okay.
be lying if I said that didn't get me high. Like, yeah, kick
Okay.
that motherfucker ass.
Because I
That slow mo
choose
punch to
to.
that
Whereas
face.
he says because I choose to, whereas in the first movie he actually did it instead of saying it.
right.
Everybody's
And
saying their feelings at this point.
yeah,
Yeah.
he says when you say that you already see it in the first one, you already see it. He doesn't have to say the words. He already chooses to fight. So that's why, as great as now looking back on it at the time, I can understand Wolf at the time being young, it rocked. But as you get older and the movies get older, you realize that first one, he, he didn't have to say it because he was doing it. Action spoke louder than words. I feel like by the time they got to this last one, the Wachowskis were out of steam. Just look, we got to finish this somehow. So let's just
Yeah.
do what
Yeah.
we
We
can.
gotta finish. Come on. We gotta finish this soon because
All
I
right,
got an
this is
operation.
it. Now you all know
Right.
me, so I'm going to say this simply as I can. If it's our time to die, it's our time. All I ask, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do, man.
Yeah. Look, that was pretty
Maui,
awesome.
man, that was a Maui motherfucker leading that damn APU freaking charge.
And I'm actually going to say that too. The APU unit fighting the Sentinels was pretty awesome.
Yes,
Though in my
I would
rewrite, there
mention
will
that.
not be no fight in Zion. Just letting you guys know, we'll be cheated of Mufune's last stand.
In the second movie, I didn't care for the Zion scenes that much. I'm sorry, I thought the Zion scenes were sort of boring. I didn't need to see Zion to believe what it was. I wish Zion was saved. I wish they had saved it for the third one. You know, that's just me personally. I just felt like I think I didn't need to see Zion to know what it was. I already got the understanding of what they were fighting for. I think maybe
Yeah.
perhaps if Zion was there for the third picture.
They even mentioned Zion over there because again, Zion was supposed to be the allegory to heaven.
Yes.
You didn't need to see it; you just needed to believe it.
Yes, yes. And by that time, you know, I got the feeling of what it was. So in the
And
second
we got a
one,
Dragon Ball Z slug out fight in the third movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that too, and I am gonna say that I actually like that fight scene. And after watching it, I was like, okay, so we can do a Dragon Ball Z movie. This movie proved it.
Mm.
We can do it,
Mhm.
but will we?
Unfortunately, they got that crappy Dragon Ball Evolution, which we don't be talking about.
And Steven Child's a producer, not a director, and that was the biggest mistake they ever made.
Yes. Yes. Well, again,
Because
this
most of his movies that he done is Dragon Ball esque.
well
You watch
again,
Silent Shocker, sorry, Leia. If you watch
go ahead.
Silent Shocker and Kung Fu Hustle, Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Man,
it goes back to again about studios and their mistakes and why sequels fail. Studios do not understand what makes a movie work, and they probably was thinking, "Oh, the audience won't know it's a different director. They won't mind that. They'll just come put their money down and see it
Are
and
we talking about
accept what
that
we
last
have."
movie that don't exist? No.
I don't have anything to say. I was actually more interested in your rewrites, Commander. But
yeah,
if you want to talk
let's
about
go
it,
to the rewrite. I'd rather hear Wolf's rewrite.
yeah. I never saw it. I didn't I didn't feel the need to see it. So
I would,
I am
yeah,
resisting my mind.
yeah. So before I get into that, let me let's talk briefly about the Animatrix, which I'm pretty sure none of you guys, except for me and Schooner, has watched.
I've seen some of it, but I'm sorry I forgot some of the plots. But I did see a few of them.
I didn't see
So
none of it at all because I don't care to watch supplementary material.
you're lame. So it's an anthology series, of course. We all know that by now. It's been done by multiple studios. I'm just going to briefly list all of them down, especially my favorites. Last Flight of Osiris is basically the bridge gapper to show how they got the message about Zion being invaded by the Machine Empire before we get to Reloaded. It's
Mm-hmm.
more of a cock tease movie in a
Yeah.
sense.
Oh yeah.
It's fun. It it's got a bit of a mood whiplash, but it's fun in the beginning, and it's, of course it ends tragically because it's called The Last Flight of the Osiris.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we get next will be Second Renaissance 1 and 2, which
That
yikes,
was incredible.
incredible but visceral,
Yeah.
very
And
visceral. I
I
would
think
not recommend this for those who have the faint of heart because even
yeah.
before we get to the one scene that a lot of people talk about when it comes to Second Renaissance,
Mm-hmm.
first part is even more horrific.
Well,
Jeez.
I think it was so funny because it actually was parodied by Codename Kids Next Door.
Oh yeah, I remember that shit. That shit was hilarious.
It was parodied by Codename Kids Next Door. They were talking about the kids and how they accidentally invented adults, and it was totally the second Renaissance from the Animatrix.
Yeah, no, I know. I remember that.
But again, yeah, it was a great. Now that is an epic prequel to a Matrix movie. If you ever wanted to make one,
Well, if you want to know a few details of how the machine human war
yeah.
got started,
Mm-hmm.
that's a very well written and well animated two-parter.
Mm-hmm.
It
Oh yeah.
really, like, even it leaves enough vagueness to really still keep that mystique of the Matrix of what struck first.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it still gives concrete details, but it's like you're still in the seat of the characters of the first Matrix. Like, we don't know who struck first,
Yeah.
but you
They
know,
said,
not
yeah,
them.
not them. And again, at first you're like made to pity the machines at what has happened and what has gone on. But then when you see what they subjugated humanity to, they were no different.
Hmm. What was the line from the what's her name? The
the data bank of
no,
Zion.
she's not called. She's not called. She's called something. The curator.
Yeah.
She said, may God have mercy on machine and man."
Hmm.
I think that's what she said.
Yep.
That,
And I thought,
that's still a chilling line. More chilling even. Sorry, more chilling even what the last machine said before he nuked the whole UN.
yeah, he goes, surrender your flesh.
Hmm. In the
And I
beginning,
think
it was man, and for a time, it was good. But humanity, so-called civil societies, soon fell victim to vanity and corruption. Then man made machine in his own likeness. Thus did man become the architect of his own demise.
yep.
Such
I
poetic
even
poetry.
love the scene where the curator of the Zion curator shows a level, even though it's so subtle, it flew over most people's heads. The curator of Zion looks like it actually has emotions as well.
I'm sorry, it's the instructor, not curator.
The instructor. Oh man, I like the curator more. The instructor. Anyway, but she shows that she has emotions because remember when it showed the fields at the very end, and you just see her putting a pensive hand on one of the pods. I thought that was beautiful.
And man said, "Let there be light," and he was blessed by light, heat, magnetism, gravity, and all the energies of the universe.
Ah, it was just so beautiful.
Revisit that, guys.
Yeah.
It's free on YouTube somewhere if you can get a good find
Yeah.
a really clear, crisp clip.
The second
Man,
Renaissance,
oh man,
the
that
second
poor.
Renaissance. I'll say it. The second Renaissance almost made me feel like I was watching The Matrix again. I mean,
And
it really hit those chords.
Wow.
every once in a while, I watch it as like, just like I said over at Physics channel when we did Bird Boys. It's one of those it's one of those things where I have to see it at least once after 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like I have to marinate in it for a while
Yeah.
and then revisit it. And
Mm-hmm.
it seems like now as I get older, it's like, man, I'm now scared to watch it again.
Well, you're terrified to watch it now because it's scary. The scary parallels that it drew for our world. I'm like, oh my god.
Tenenbaum Square,
Mm-hmm.
to name one. The Civil Rights
Mm-hmm.
Movement Million Machine March.
Mm-hmm.
Protesters that defend the machines getting shot for their troubles.
Yep. And then you see the fembot getting brutally murdered.
Oh goodness, that.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Again,
Yep.
I didn't see the movie, so I can't say that much on it.
Oh my god, you gotta see it. There's this scene where they're beating on this
Look, man,
female robot.
on your own time, or don't. I don't give a damn.
And
All I'm
it's just
saying is,
Mhm.
sorry, Schooner. All I'm saying is that this is a supplementary material that enhances the story, even though the story is good.
Yeah.
Much like the going back to Star Wars, the EU.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on from Second Renaissance to what was next after that?
I believe it was Kid's Story.
Which actually another one that bridged the gap for Matrix Reloaded, which I don't think he needed one. But it was a story about the kid and how he got to the Matrix. And I was gonna make this joke originally when we talked about the first Matrix, where he's on the scaffold. It's like, yeah, Neil, why don't you do what the kid did and drop off the damn building like he did?
Yeah.
You be all right.
After that one though comes one of my favorite ones. I believe it's called Program.
And that is why I didn't watch it, Redneck.
What was it?
Trying to bait me in with that bullshit, huh? I don't care how good the animation is. I ain't fucking watching that shit after I seen that umbrella lightsaber. Somebody nearly tried to get into a fight with my ass talking about the impracticality of that bullshit. I'm like, am I getting in trouble for calling out how BS this shit is? I'm serious. Like this is somebody's fanfic fucking lightsaber or fan art lightsaber. And y'all trying to defend this bullshit? Fucking, I'm still sick and tired of that fucking laser sword spinning around trying to make them fly and shit, knowing full well that ain't how that works. Star Wars has its own realism, despite how unrealistic some of this shit is. It still has some realism to it.
Yep.
And seeing the freaking Inquisitors doing that shit, I'm gonna shut up. Moving
Yeah.
on.
I believe
The movie,
Afterwards is actually one of my favorite ones. I believe it's called Program, where
it's directed by the people who did that part of the Bloodlust and Ninja Scroll.
yeah, and
Yeah,
man,
this is the reason why you should watch it, motherfucker.
yeah, it was an
You know
amazing
what it is?
program.
He ain't with us right now.
Program is another one right up there. It's a standalone story, but I love it. It's really good. It's
related to Cypher in a way.
It is related to Cypher, but I think wouldn't it be really cool? Yeah, it is related to Cypher because suddenly this woman is trapped. She's in a training program. This other guy comes in, and the two of them start sparring. And the guy is telling the woman that he's going back to the Matrix, and how he has secretly killed the crew, and that the machines are on their way over.
It's a combination of the Later Red training program.
Yeah.
With a bit of a hint of Cypher.
Yep. And what I love about it is that she's fighting him, and he tells her that there is no choice. They're going to be here soon, and if you don't join me, I'm going to have to end you. And I think what's awesome is she defeats him at the very end and then wakes up, and it's revealed that the crew is still alive, and they said that it was all a training simulation. But I thought that was... Oh, yeah. Yeah, first off, she was doing the training program in her undies, too, and I'm like, yeah, talk about eye candy.
Oh, that final shot with her in the elevator. Jeez. I was hoping that there was going to be more. I was like, oh.
I know. It's like, oh, man, because that with her in the elevator...
That story. I wish there was more to it. Exactly. I would love to have an anime Matrix movie or show.
Yeah. I just love that. Was amazing. Oh, and then comes World Record, which I thought was amazing.
Oh my goodness, World Record! I would always mimic that run, dude.
Yeah, World Record was just so flipping cool. I just love how he's running, and then all of a sudden, all of the track team just turns into agents.
Yeah, and he's actually breaking the Matrix by breaking his own record.
Yep.
Another one I wish it was a show so we get spat upon it when he claps down when he receives the injury. They basically program the injury into him when they put him back to sleep. Bastards.
Oh no, but I love that because the ending offers, well, a lot of people call it bittersweet. It offers hope. He says he'll never walk again, but then he gets up and he starts walking, and the agent says,
What's I love the word that he was uttering?
He goes, freedom.
Free.
He goes, free. And I love how the agent behind him is like telling him to sit down. He goes, you sit down.
Sit down.
And then he falls.
Sit down.
Mm-hmm. It just shows yeah, exactly. But it just shows that
I mean, you're living it good, dude. You got a hot nut with you. I mean, why would you want to stand up after that? I'm like, well, you know what? The hell am I talking about? I stand up too.
But what I say, but that scene offers hope.
Walk, Forrest, walk. I saw the braces breaking off.
Oh yeah, I did.
Don't tell me you did not think walk, Forrest, walk.
No, well, now that you mention it, wow, the parallels are. That's damning right there. But the point that I'm trying to say is the ending of that is like, no matter how many times they try to beat him down, it is only when you surrender that it is truly the...
I just imagine the freaking the Chappelle scene where the guys at the crutches. You play that audio in the background while you stand up and walking.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then he makes it to the top and he's like, can I have a cheeseburger?
Now we're playing around this part before we get to the rewrite that I have for everybody.
After World Record, I believe there was that one where they were on the surface and they were trying to reprogram machines.
No, that was the last one. Before
That
that
was-
was a noir one.
Oh, that was a good one too.
Showing
that
Disney in their early days, but they kind of got this whole noir steampunk like look to it, which was
Yeah.
nice. And
I'm
then
thinking
later,
that was just the animators just having fun.
I like to think that was the concept art they used for this move for the first movie, and they just decided to turn that into a story
Yeah.
because it was in black and white. And the
Uh-huh.
cat is adorable.
I
Throwing
know.
the guy's hat to him, that was so cute. Only a dog could do that, but a cat did that. I was like, wow. But then after that, it was not meticulous yet, but beyond.
No, it was those kids who found the glitch in the Matrix.
Beyond.
Yeah, Beyond.
Yeah, Beyond was actually pretty nice. I wish that was another one that they continued on.
Mm-hmm. Beyond was a good Leia. What Beyond is basically these groups of kids discover a glitch within the Matrix system, and they actually start playing with the glitch.
Yeah, I watched somebody else do a review on Animatrix, so I knew some of these. There's one where they had a guy where was racing so hard that he almost broke out the Matrix.
Yeah, we talked about that briefly. World record.
Yeah.
And then after that is Matriculate.
Mm-hmm.
Matriculate, I think it's called, which is done by Pierre Chung.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know who that is, that's Aeon Flux animator.
Yep.
I still haven't seen Aeon Flux. I'm about to watch that and Max soon. So.
He also did Reign the Conqueror, which I own the whole series. Reign the Conqueror, which is Alexander the Great, but done in his style.
Reign the Conqueror. Who?
Reign the Conqueror, which we'll definitely be doing an anime spotlight for that one. I want you guys to experience that one just as I experienced it. He also did the Bridge Gapper short animated movie, Chronicles of Rick, Dark Fury.
Yeah, I saw that. I've seen that before.
I have seen that. Yeah, I saw that one.
Brilliant movie, by the way. Watched it 5 times already. Probably more than 5. But yeah, Matriculate is what Schooner was talking about earlier before I had to correct him. Like you said, they capture machines to not necessarily reprogram them, but more of trying to make peace with them in a way.
But I make it understand how humans feel.
Yeah.
Basically, they basically fed him shrooms. They invite him to their hippie community where they kiss, make love, run around naked in their avatars and stuff. They turn him into an avatar himself. And he finds peace and Buddhism throughout that whole shindig. And you got the broad that's like offering him fertility and love making.
Mm-hmm. And then they get attacked.
Yep, and he's
now he's all
reaction on his part.
Yep.
I was mad. I'm like, motherfucker, help him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it's not bad. It's a good segment.
Yeah.
By the way, I think the kid's story was done by the same animators that did Breaking the Habit music video.
Yep. Cause I'm breaking the habit.
Rest in peace, Chester.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh man, that was
what happens when you sing too much about drugs and suicide.
Yep.
Not to play a joke on a man, passing, but I mean, okay, that's bad taste. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna
apologize.
Let's get back on track.
Yeah. So we covered.
That was the Animatrix.
Yeah, we just covered that. So now, without further ado, I'm gonna just explain my rewrite of the sequels. Full disclaimer: I don't know how I would have tackled it if I was tasked with doing the sequels of the Matrix, but given what we know so far from the sequels and stuff like that, I'm gonna just give you what I would have done anyways. So, like I said, Neil's last line of the first movie,
Mm-hmm.
I'm following through on that one.
Okay.
So, with him being unplugged and him being the one, let's go with Dr. Manhattan.
Okay.
So, the more he's getting more connected to the Matrix, the further he gets away from humanity. Man, he's becoming removed. He's becoming emotionless, like a machine. He's trying to bridge the piece between human and machine in the second movie. And this is where I expand upon the missed opportunity that I call the programs. So
Okay.
he's now
Okay.
trying to talk to programs to really introduce this concept of peace between human and machine, where the matrix can be either a safe haven for both of them, where the humans can know the truth and still make the choice of leaving or staying. I mean, I leave the choice up to you. What you do with that concept, I leave up to you. And the programs are not opposed to that. They like that. They are entertaining that idea.
Yeah. Ooh, I like this already.
So I'm scrapping the whole invasion of Zion,
Okay.
Okay. All right. I like that.
or rather, if they're going to invade Zion, they're not there to massacre the humans. Because excuse me, that's the roommate in the background coughing. But we already seen in the animatrix that they were able to scoop up humans and plug them in.
Yeah.
So instead of them killing the humans, they're gonna scoop them up and plug them back in.
That's even worse. That's even more terrifying.
hmm
Hmm.
So it's gonna be something like that, or rather, again, Neo is affecting the Matrix in such a way that the machines cannot stop him. It's not no cycle of extinction or extermination like in the sequel where he has to go through the source of the Matrix and restart the Matrix all over again. Basically,
Yeah.
restarting this whole cycle. No, we're not doing that. It's him being detached from humanity. Morpheus is trying to get to him. Trinity can't connect, trying to get him to connect with her, but he's not connecting with her. He's so in tune with the Matrix right now. Even
Mhm.
outside, even in the real world, he's very in tune to it. Right. The more he goes, the more in tune he becomes. He's
Yeah.
becoming less human. In
More
fact, he's even
team.
wearing the shades, much like Smith is. We will
Okay.
we will still get the Smith that's a virus. We'll still get that, but he's starting to manipulate the Matrix in his own way as a virus. Not like the
All
one
right.
we ain't getting no flying Smith, and we're not gonna have
Okay.
him sort the Oracle and doing that maniacal laugh either.
No, I
No,
love that thing.
thank you.
I like it too, but like no, we're
Mm-mm.
gonna keep him controlled, reserved, but still trying to affect the Matrix his own way. He wants to go back to the Matrix, or at least he wants to go back to the source. He didn't like being free. He wants rules. He wants control. He wants a leash.
Hmm.
And Neo is the key to undoing all that. So he's also absorbing programs, not humans, programs to do that. So I'm expanding more on this now. So
That's
that
pretty cool.
so I don't know how I would have ended that sequel right now, but that's how I would start with the second sequel.
Okay.
Again, following up on what Neil was saying to the machines at the end of the first movie. That's how it should have been. Third movie is going to be Jesus on top of the mountain at the end, the conclusion.
Ooh, I like that.
But like
Would Neo be in the real world, or would he be in the real world or in the Matrix, or would he
ma-
be? Oh my God, would he be addressing both?
in a way, he's addressing both, but he'll be in the Matrix to do that because
Okay.
this is the final step of the Matrix, which is they're going to create paradise again, or
I
they can
see.
provide a safe haven for both machine, program, and human. They're actually going to make peace with the machines. what was done to them was already done. Let's end it in peace. Smith don't want that. Smith
No.
will be the devil on the mountain. Neo will be Jesus. The door is open for him to go inside the Matrix and really just complete that final step.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it the final step? Is it a trap? We don't know. So we get that so this is where we get that slug out fight. And again, no flying Smith.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I'm teleport though, right?
That's an option.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, he's already absorbed a lot of the programs. Not humans. He's absorbed a lot of the programs, and he's got an army with him. Legion, for we are many. Legions of Smith.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, this is where I think we should have had him fighting all the Smiths at on top of the hill. But he finds the source one, rewrites his code, and just ejects him out of the system. Basically, he's basically a system cleanup.
Yeah. Okay.
So right now, the Matrix, the program that's running the entire Matrix is saying he's uttering the same lines that Morpheus said in the first movie. There's the door. All you have to do is walk through it. No. Reject programming. Return to human. And he returns to Trinity.
Ooh. Okay. See, now that could have been. Those could have been good sequels.
Yes.
Those are
Those
ideal
Yes.
sequels.
Those could have been some really good sequels. I agree. I'm already, you've got my attention already than what we got. Those sound, yeah. Because I was thinking, how would you do a sequel to a movie that's pretty much covered everything? And that is a good way of doing it. I could see that being a possible story.
You build off of what the first one had set up.
Right, right. So that one does. That one makes a lot of sense. I'll give it to you on that one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I'm calling it reverse Dr. Manhattan, whereas Dr. Manhattan had all the power, he is losing the humanity. Whereas Neo has all the power and he's losing humanity, but he's slowly returning back to humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus returns to humanity. Jesus has risen and returned to humanity, or at least ascend up there and return to humanity in a way, a reverse ascension.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he's the one at
Yep.
this point, but he also knows that again, uttering back what he said to Morpheus in the first movie. I don't believe in fate. Therefore, I don't feel like I have control of my life. So he's saying, I'm taking control back of my life, and I'm going back to the woman in my life.
Makes perfect sense.
And now I'm about to break some hearts.
Oh no, I knew it had to be something. Go on.
Such a thing would not be a sacrifice. Would not be without sacrifice. Morpheus will die.
Oh,
Oh.
you're gonna take out Morpheus?
Complete the circle, because like the Oracle said, Morpheus will do anything and anything to protect Neo or help Neo.
Mm-hmm.
That will still be a constant in his character,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how powerful Neo is. He'll be the one to try to talk some sense into Neo, because again, Neo is connected to the Matrix now, and he's getting further away from humanity. So if Trinity's not working, maybe he can work. Maybe he'll try to get some sense of Neo. But it's difficult because again, he's now plugged into the Matrix and now connected to it, that to the point where he doesn't know himself anymore.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Neo, and I'm getting back to my bitch so that we can
Oh
bury
God.
it.
Oh God.
But other than that, yeah, that's how I rewrote the sequence to the Matrix. That's how I would have told the story. Because at some point you gotta return to humanity once you reach your ascension in alignment. Gotta share what you know.
Makes a lot of sense, and I like it. It's a good story, and I like the idea of the program.
Well, I would. Nobody is safe in the world of movies, and nobody's safe in real life. So I don't know what this rule about not killing black folk.
There's
It's unwritten rule. I'm like before we sign out, I gotta tell you guys this joke I told a coworker of mine, and I'm pretty sure you guys heard it before, but it bears repeating for those people in the back. She questioned me. She posited to me about black people treated in movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but she asked him. She asked me, "What do you think about black people dying in the movies? Like the black man dying first? There's more white people dying first before the black man these days.
They're
So
right.
what?
Right.
About the black man? So what about the black man dying? Well, at least I don't have to worry about this motherfucker suffering.
No, I agree. Because black that always used to happen back in movies, horror movies made back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, early 90s.
But that's why I told her. Look, I said that to her, and she gasped. I said, "Well, at least I don't have to watch this motherfucker suffer. At least he got a quick death. Like if he died on screen, that's a bonus. Like you want this Negro to live and suffer like these white folk do? You see
Somewhere
this?
that woman's head exploded.
I'm like, bruh, you see these white people, you see what they gotta do when they alive. You want to subject this brother to that shit too? She's like, I never would have thought of it that way. Yeah, think about it. You got the black man that got the quick, beautiful death, easy, painless, right? You got these white folk living and still running around, getting knocked around, getting their head chopped up, getting thrown over the stuff, going thrown the windows, and you want to subject the brother to that? Nigga, I would wish that on somebody. I'm like, whenever I see a black man die, I'm like, good, because I want to see this motherfucker suffer.
She
there's a way of putting a positive spin on it.
I'm just saying, like, and another thing, do you find it unrealistic that the black people live throughout these movies, considering how many of us die in real life?
We are not immortal because we are black.
We damn sure don't got that good of a lifespan either.
Mm-mm.
I know.
Not that immortal because we're human.
Not to be dark humory about it, but I'm like, bruh, like, considering how our community acts, we don't got that long lifespan.
Not to mention our health.
Oh, speaking of, man, if there's two things that's killing us, it's bullets and bad eating habits.
I mean, I don't never ate pork because my religion, but you get what I'm saying.
I do.
That's telling.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
The way she reacted to you, Wolf, is the same way they reacted when I told when some of my co-workers are shocked that I hate Bridgerton. I thought their heads were going to explode when I told them that I hate that show with a passion, and they said, and they always tell me, you should be liking it. Why should I be liking it? Why should they be like, oh, scandalous? How could you not like Bridgerton? And I said, I hate that show. That show sells a lie. It's a historical lie about people of color in the 18th and 17th century, and it's a fantasy and it's phony. The actor that you like is just fake, and I don't appeal to it. Oh, they almost fell out in their chairs.
What's that show?
They almost fell out in their chairs.
It's like they never thought it's like they never even considered that people may not like this.
Yeah, but they just assume. Well, she said, but black people are seen as they're not slaves.
We had that way before that.
She said, it's your people are not slaves. They're not. I'm like,
why they got
That's
all
the person who saw 12 Years a Slave.
not to mention, how come there's no African fantasy stores? I noticed. I mean, the only one we got was that Children of Blood and Bone.
Well, Paramount is going to first. The wicked dictator Kathleen was going to do it, but Paramount took it away from her. Or maybe Disney said, no, we're not doing it. And they are going to produce that. There are wonderful fantasy stories of African genre folk tales that can be adapted into films. But right now, Hollywood seems not to be interested in any of those stories.
Agreed, Star.
Yeah, do you want to know why? No, do you want to know why? Because those stories are actually telling traditional hero stories.
Correct. Yes, you're right.
It's like they're telling a traditional hero story and not highlighting these woke.
Motherfuckers, if you want black people out as not slaves in movies, why don't you make another Shaka Zulu movie?
Ooh, that's a good, yeah.
Although I know Shaka Zulu is not really a good person, but still.
Well,
True.
I'm also saying this: don't just remake a movie with an all black cast. Give something that everybody can enjoy, because I guarantee you, an action
Are you
filled movie.
suggesting to put random white folk in a place where they shouldn't have exist?
I know.
Boom.
If you
Boom,
make a,
right there.
if you're making a movie about Chinese mythology, I wouldn't expect the Hispanics to be there.
No.
Exactly.
A white Westerner that didn't show up around that time period either.
Exactly. You can't just make if your TV show is based on historical fiction, you still have to put it in fact. So you can't have Negroes walking around in the Palace of Versailles during the French Revolution. That's just not going to look right. I said it, but you're just not going to make it look right. You have to base it in some form of fact. And I like back with what Scooney was saying, they seem to, when they want to, they claim we want to do stories with people of color, but they want to race swap. They don't want to actually do stories where you have tales of black people. They seem to want to race swap from white or Caucasian culture, and that does not guarantee I'm going to like it. So it tells me that tells me that it tells me you're not making these movies to tell stories. You're making these movies out of revenge and anger, and you only see, as Young Ripper says, validation in white characters. And that's what we're getting right now. There's plenty of like folklore. There's one story
I
that
already told my mom years
college.
ago. I said I'm tired. Like she's like, are you gonna watch 12 Years a Slave? No.
I'm tired of slave movies. Why is the only three
Yeah.
movies black people star in is slave movies, gangster movies, and Christian comedies.
Yeah, that
They already got a 15th Medea movie.
Oh, I heard about that. I'm like, oh my God. I
Oh,
thought we
bro,
were.
I thought you retired the damn wig already.
He did
Yeah.
retire the dress.
I'm like, bro, you were already in Ninja Turtles, the second one.
I don't get why hell Tyler Perry was back to stock, man. I would cast somebody else. I would cast Wesley Snipes.
He was fine. Then again, I didn't really care that much about Baxter Stockman that much.
I do.
I know you do, but I didn't. He wasn't gonna turn into no damn fly in there anyways.
I love some Baxter Stockman.
I
You
like
know,
him.
just saying, a massive missed opportunity to turn him into the giant fly.
I heard
Other than
that Jamie
Go ahead,
Foxx
Leia.
is I heard that Jamie Foxx, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just said Jamie Foxx is doing a movie for Netflix where he wants to be a Blade-like character. He's like a vampire slayer or something, and he says he's going to be a Blade-like character. There
And
you go. That's what I said. Yeah, he says,
Negro, why don't you be Deathlock?
yeah.
Ooh.
Or he could just create his
I
own
mean,
little.
they're gonna mess up your face, but damn it, it's gonna be you in it.
Or what about how about Nighthawk?
Nighthawk would be good.
Yeah. So
Nah.
No, wait. I forgot what his name is. The Darkhawk. Darkhawk. Oh, sorry, I got confused.
Nah.
Oh, the hell is really going to drop when that phony that's Lord of the Rings for Amazon already set a date. They're going to drop a full trailer on during the week of the Super Bowl.
No.
There is no Lord of the Rings TV show. There was only books and the movies.
Exactly.
That's
I agree.
And no Hobbit trilogy.
I'll even take the Hobbit trilogy.
I'll take the Hobbit trilogy.
I'll
too.
take it. I will take
I
the
will.
Hobbit trilogy.
I'll take it. If that's the worst the Lord of the Rings could fall, I will take it.
I agree.
I'm with you there, Scooney. I'm absolutely with you there. I'd
Listen
rather
to this
sit and watch
now.
Hobbit films.
I remember the written tirade of a black fan watching Black Panther. Can we black folk get a movie that doesn't depict / preach to us about slavery?
Yeah, I'm getting tired of those.
Amen, brother. Whoever wrote that.
agree.
Amen.
Mhm.
Yes. I am getting I'm like
And that's why the movie had to have Killmonger as the main villain rather than Claw, like usually is in the comics.
Killmonger would have been an African warlord in my rewrite.
Yeah,
That's all I
yeah.
got.
I would prefer just use Claw. I mean, Claw's like Black Panther's awesome nemesis.
Claw wouldn't have died in that movie. Claw would have been
Exactly.
accessory.
Exactly.
He would have wore the suit too.
Mm.
He needed the suit. I don't care how ridiculous that shit looked. He needed the suit. That's all I'm saying.
And I don't care. I want to see his hand turn into like a giant claw.
Exactly.
I want to see that claw.
Shit. As soon as I saw the freaking slaves entering on the boats, I'm like, oh hell no.
I'm like you, Commander. My mother loves 12 Years a Slave. She asked me to watch it with her, and I said, no, thank you, Mom. I am sick and tired of slave pictures. I have had it with Hollywood trying to tell me about slave. I get it. Can we move on, please? I'm really tired of it. I'm
told me
really
it's
tired
history.
of
I'm
it.
like, yeah, but damn it, you don't have to watch it all the damn time.
That's
Watch it.
mentioned black people had history before that. So what the hell?
No, my thing is like, okay, it's history. It's history that you keep watching all the damn time.
No. Not only that, but also black people had history before that. Like, what can you tell something about before slavery?
Exactly.
Yes.
Can we talk about the Renaissance that black
Yes.
people ushered in?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's why I watch Get On Up and not 12 Years a Slave and 42.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely, positively agree with you.
Or make a movie set in Africa about tribes or something. Do something like
Dolph,
that.
you bite your tongue. That's the only exceptional slave movie because at least for reals though, that was at least like some fictional shit.
I know, I agree. I know, and it's done as an action movie style. So yeah.
And it was
They
done by
set
a
it
white
up-
man who was proud of it, and he proudly blew himself up for that damn movie.
Yes. Django was like a
Tarantino.
Western. That's why I think a lot of people are like you. They excuse it because it plays like a Western. It's set
Exactly.
in slavery time, but it plays like a Western. I think that's why it works.
Shit, I'd rather watch that 40 more times than 12 Years a Slave.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
Like,
don't
shit,
want to watch more scenes of black people being tortured and etc. I don't
I'm like,
need all
look,
those
look,
things.
I could sit through Kerry Washington freaking getting her ass beat 3-4 minutes in the damn movie.
I'm
At
sorry,
least
but
at least I see Django popping white folk.
it was just what for me. It was just seeing Jonah Hill dressed as a Klansman. I'm
Oh
like,
my goodness.
I mean,
I can't see shit. I think I can make a bigger hole. Oh, I made it worse. Can I get a new one? No, I can't see shit. I can't see shit. You can't see shit. The question is, can a horse can see a motherfucking thing? That's how we do a raid.
And I just love how they just blow them up because I'm just like, are you guys? I mean, these guys are complete and utter morons. The way they blow them up is beautiful.
This is what we cower in fear of.
I think. Anyways, I think we should be probably in the stream now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. We've gone. Yeah, we haven't gone, and I have.
I
So
must go to bed.
yeah, we all must go to bed pretty soon.
Yes.
Shit,
Yes.
it's 10 o'clock on my end. I need to be getting to bed. I got
It's
work
1
in the morning.
a.m. on my end.
Oh, you definitely need to go.
Yes.
Before we go, just an announcement: 200 subscribers. So next
Woo!
week, next Tuesday,
Congratulations!
you complete your sentence. Go ahead.
Woo! I
Don't
was
stop
gonna
on
say
my account.
congrats to you, Wolf. Wow. Look how far you've come. Ain't that wonderful? Sorry, I
Yeah.
had to celebrate that in there. Brag. You need to brag all about that. Put that everywhere. I got 200 subscribers.
hmm Anyways, so what we're gonna be doing since we're at 200 subscribers, we're gonna do next Tuesday a Q&A session. So tell your friends about the Q&A. Those of you who have watched this and those you non-motherfuckers. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. You non-existent motherfuckers. Tell everybody about the Q&A. I'll be preparing that for next Tuesday. So 200 subscribers, nets you Q&A. So ask us anything. You
Ask
can
us
ask me personal things,
anything.
but not my cohorts.
Okay, I will spread the word.
Look, I'm protecting y'all identity, okay? I'm protecting
Yeah.
anything that sensitive that you don't want. Look, ask me personal questions if you want to, but everybody else, they're off limits. Me, everything
I'm
goes.
gonna
Yes,
tell all my friends.
I don't know. You can ask me some things. I won't find answer it. Asking. Answering some questions.
You can even ask us fictional questions like, "How deep is the tank in which I live in?"
How many college girls are ripped apart?
no, turn off Star Storytellers comment here. We thought the holes were a nice touch, but they could have been done a little better. Well, to hell with all you sack of shits. My wife been working day and night about those mess, and all I hear from you is criticize, criticize, criticize. I tell you what, fuck you. I'm going home.
Oh, good.
That was beautifully. That was my favorite part of that. He's the one that got spared. But anyways, guys, I'd like to thank everybody for being here for us hearing us tirade and suck the dick of the first movie mostly
That's
for 2 hours straight. Yes, right. That's right. Y'all marinate on that. Y'all lather on that. I said it.
You know what? I'm fine with it.
great. I'm fine with it too.
I'll
I
sing the
gave the other
praises
ones a
of.
reach around.
I will sing the praises of the Matrix movie from here to eternity. Of
Well,
the first Matrix movie.
I have to be with Scooty with that. I think The Matrix is a classic. I think
The
it
other
is
two,
absolute
they
classic.
only got a hand job. For the
Matrix.
animators, however, we gave them the whole package for $200. Fuck, suck, tit job, everything, hand job, rim job, all that shit. We went balls deep in that one. Yeah, that's right. I said
Dear God.
marinate in that shit.
Only this late at night can we do that.
Yes.
It's evening time, so yeah, anything goes. Y'all can do just watch your GD. Remember, watch y'all GDs.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want Mapachete coming after us. But anyways, I'd like to thank Leia Plus Size, the lovely Lady of Valor.
Hello, everyone who is still left with us. This is Leia Plus Size, your lovely Lady of Valor. I want to thank you for joining in for our passionate discussion of the Matrix films. If you like what you heard, please leave a comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Wolf Commander is at 200, but we want that to grow even more. And thank you for spending your evening with us. And I hope you have a great night, and I will see you soon.
That's okay, son. When I was your age, I had stupid dreams too.
Oh, you! I thought a Chris Evans thing was going to sneak in there. That's why I paused. I thought I was trying to beat you to the punch. I thought for sure you were going. That's why I paused. I was like, okay, here he comes. Here he comes. He's going to throw a Chris Evans
Celebrate
in there.
200. We doing this.
Okay.
Coming at you live underneath the ground with good Wi-Fi. It's the Schooner Tuna.
Hey, coming at you live from a secret government facility buried deep underground, but has excellent Wi-Fi. This has been your operator, Schooner Tuna. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions, leave it in the comments below. Until next time, this is Schooner Tuna signing out.
You just gotta go out there and do it. Just loosen up and be tight at the same time.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
usually for Brian, but he's not here, so you're the stand-in. And this is Fish Chozo. Don't advertise your ass.
Chozo's plugging out.
I'm not into guys with vaginas.
Oh! 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 Shots have been fired.
Lighten up, dude. It's funny. Spin your Wolf Commander Wolf 10 once again to let you guys know that.
Now I guess the gag is all here. How y'all doing?
And to remind you guys, once again, you are the UN Spacey. If you joined us after that 200, welcome to the Wolf Fleet.
Ooh.
Dude, it's not our fault you suck.